4G. christophermedianetp8266.
Sports have a way of bringing us all together. And at Sleeper, we developed a fantasy platform designed to make leagues more fun and personal. Sleeper includes an integrated chat and every feature you could want for your NFL, NBA, and even esport leagues. Plus, it's completely free with no ads. See why millions have made Sleeper the fastest growing fantasy platform. Download Sleeper on the App Store or Google Play today. Sports have a way of bringing us all together. And at Sleeper, we developed a fantasy platform designed to make leagues more fun and personal. Sleeper includes an integrated chat and every feature you could want for your NFL, NBA, and even esport leagues. Plus, it's completely free with no ads. See why millions have made Sleeper the fastest growing fantasy platform. Download Sleeper on the App Store or Google Play today.
Thank you for visiting christophermedia.net. And now, here are your hosts.
All right, it's March 11th. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm the Iceman.
And Dak Prescott got paid. So paid. So, like, anyone in his bloodline, except for you, you're set. Like, God, $126 million guaranteed.
Does that mean we have to call him a bad man now?
Okay, so he got paid, but is this going to stop any of the trying to shove the narrative of, teams don't want black quarterbacks, or teams don't respect black quarterbacks, or teams won't pay black quarterbacks, and et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, of course not.
I mean, because the people saying that, they do realize that the NFL and the Players Association sat down at the beginning of last decade, okay? This isn't nothing new. You dumb cocksuckers should have known this by now. And restructured rookie contracts to where there's a cap. So there's no more Matt Stafford coming into the league rookie contracts. There's play your fucking maxed out rookie contract, then you get the contract that makes your fucking your offspring wealthy. That's how it's been for a decade plus now.
Yes, black, white, red, purple.
Does not fucking matter. Why am I hearing about it constantly now? I'm over this shit. I'm over people trying to fucking start shit. You people hate other races so bad, go live in the fucking desert with whoever will have you. And leave us the fuck alone, dude. Because I'm personally
I've heard about
sick
that.
of hearing about this shit.
I am too, and the best quote I've heard about that is, color only matters to racists.
Yeah.
And that is so fucking true.
Trust me, I've been saying the phrase, who's really the racist, more in the last 6 months than I think I've ever have been in since we've been podcasting.
Like, the new thing that I see being pushed, the new agenda, narrative, whatever being pushed by the usual suspects, the woke flakes, is, well, Skip Bayless makes $30 million a year to talk about sports, and Jackson only made 1.81 million base salary his first season in the NFL.
You know what I say to that?
Yeah, that's his rookie contract. How old is Skip Bayless? 69 years old.
How many years of experience in his field does he have versus Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott is 4 years in. Skip Bayless is like 30 years into his career.
By the way, Skip Bayless was seen as such a fucking waste that ESPN let him go. Put badge in 90s hypnotist, questionably ethnic young kid in there with the fucking 90s goatee like it's still cool and shit. And fucking, boom, Stephen A. Smith. There you go, Stephen A. Smith. There's your new sparring partner. Ratings in the tank. They offered more than Fox Sports is paying Skip Bayless. ESPN offered more to Skip Bayless to come back to ESPN than Fox Sports offered him, period. And he said, no, thank you.
I'm sorry, not sorry, but Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless can debate way better than Sass can.
Well, because Shannon Sharp's a player, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Stephen A. I've grown to like the man more and more as we've done this show. I like him a lot more than when we started. Maybe just because I'm getting old, just like him. But Shannon Sharpe can speak more to. Stephen A. Smith is literally paid to throw gasoline on a fire. That is what he is there for. Shannon Sharpe can come from the player's point of view.
Yep. Look, it's just, if you want to turn everything into that, be prepared for the resistance you're going to get, because this is ridiculous. Now, this is on par with the dumb fucking cunt at the baseball game about 4 or 5 years ago, who didn't understand that when they hung K's up, that the pitcher was striking out the other team. And then even after it was explained to this fucking twat, this fucking dumb coos, who the best part of her ran out the crack of her mama's ass and is a shit stain on the mattress, goes, well, it's still offensive and they should still change it. Has nothing to do with what you thought. It's offensive because you want to make it offensive.
Yes.
Fuck right. You, cunt. I hope you fucking die. Die, bitch.
It's like that article I sent in the unregimented chat this morning about how there was a company called Just Jimmy's in New England who changed their name to Just Sprinkles simply because the internet thought that the term Jimmy's comes from Jim Crow. And it does not. Even Snopes has said, yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. But so people on the internet were taking that attitude, well, we still believe it anyway, so this company changed their name just because. Because now,
that's like
you just have to feel it.
Is now Lady A.
You just have to feel it, right? It doesn't even have to be true.
For the life of me, I could not figure out why Lady Antebellum changed their name.
Because Antebellum is about the fucking...
The South, I know.
The culture leading up to the Civil War in the South and blah, 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 blah. Now, here's the bitch of it.
They've had that name for 20 years.
Okay, well, no. They've had that name since they ripped off fucking Alan Parsons Project and got popular. But that doesn't matter. They changed it to Lady A. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm all for if you go to change your name and you change it to something and you inadvertently change it to something that you didn't realize there was an artist out there already named that, a quite successful one, by the way. That, okay, hey, no harm, no foul, we'll just keep looking. They changed to Lady A. There's a blues artist who hardly anyone's heard of named Lady A. And, of course, they changed their name because their name, Lady Antebellum, was supposedly referring to and glorifying the pre-Civil War South, Antebellum South. Okay. They changed it to Lady A. Now they're racist because they stole an old black blues woman's name. Who nobody had heard of.
For starters, we all know in this country...
You cannot win.
Yeah, the biggest lawyers win. And, also, what a lot of people don't know about the story is they didn't just pull Lady A out of a hat. That was a nickname their fans had given them for a while. So it wasn't like they were just like... Yeah, we're fucking dumb, man. Like, we're... I just keep reminded, too, of the...
You know what, though? That is exactly why the Washington Redskins are known as the Washington fucking football team. Because that's just fucking it.
I really think that name is Dan Snyder's fuck you to cancel culture. I don't think that name's ever changing.
Not as long as he's owning.
I don't either.
I think, all right, fine. Washington football team. Get offended by that, assholes.
And here's the reason why, besides just a middle finger to the assholes who want to act like this is a big deal, is the fact that the three names I keep hearing being thrown around are the same three names, and Dan Snyder hasn't fucking said he even vaguely likes one of them. In fact, he hasn't said shit. In fact, the latest news I heard about Dan Snyder was apparently he's being kind of pushed out and like told, yeah, you might want to sell your team. Because if not, we're going to take it from you. And it's like, oh, really? Because that's how private ownership works?
Look what they did to Donald Sterling. Look what they did to Kelly Loeffler.
Look what they did.
You're not on the right team nowadays. We've shown it. You're not on the right team. Fuck you.
Hey, look what they did during the McCarthy era, during the Red Scare. Yeah. Look at what they did during the 80s, during the Satanic Panic. Look what they did to the Jews during World War II. Where does it stop? But you know what? As long as it's your team, no one cares. I don't have a team, so I care all the time. I'm getting to the point where I don't care anymore. And that's a bad spot for everybody around me. Trust me. Okay? I'm going to be fine. You ain't locked in this world with me. I mean, I ain't locked in this world with you. You're locked in here with me. All right? Period. And I'm fucking sick of these people. And I don't know. Maybe the last decade of my life, I need to start having some fucking assaults on my record. Because if someone fucking opens their goddamn cock holster, I need to fucking shove their goddamn shit back down their throat. Because I'm tired of this shit. I'm over it, dude.
Now, see, at this point, I would usually be sitting here at the show going, okay, he's going on an old man rant. But now, I'm actually agreeing with Rich. For real. I said it last show. We've given the other generations, these newer generations, a hell of a country. A hell of a country. We came from someplace where you played little ColecoVision to where I was talking to my stepson, and he's in a virtual reality world. And he stays there almost 24/7.
Second Life still a thing?
Dude, it's like Ready Player
so far
One
beyond
type
Second
shit.
Life. It's not even funny. Dude, if you get a VR headset, you could, yeah. I mean, it's still not like lifelike yet, but
it's close.
I've known some people who spent, I'm talking $5,000 to $7,000 on a VR setup. And, they, like, their wives are like, I'm going to divorce this motherfucker. All he does is work. All he does is work, come home, and get on his fucking game, and then go to sleep, wake up, take a shower, go to work, and repeat. I mean, look. Here's the deal, man. I don't give a fuck if it's an old man rant. It's the deal of, if you hate me simply because I exist, then don't be a pussy and come do something about it and find out. Fuck around, find out. I got some twisted tea I'll put right upside your fucking head, and I don't care what fucking color you are. Come on. Stop talking shit online. Stop hiding behind fucking Skype and Zoom and all this bullshit and social media, and do something. Because you know what? The cocksuckers that you say tried to overturn the government ran up in the fucking Capitol building and did shout-out photos and then walked out. Okay? So they're a bunch of pussies. Prove you're not. Do something. Because you guys ain't got the balls, and you never... If you're not hiding amongst your people online, being completely given 100% support, you're chicken shits. It takes balls to stand up and go, I'm not doing what everyone else is fucking doing, because y'all are fucking idiots. It doesn't take balls to bend with the wind.
It's true.
Grass bends with the wind, baby.
Man, Rich is on fire today.
Let him go.
Showing fire under his ass.
Because I'm over this shit, man.
He's preaching the truth, man. He's preaching the truth. This has gone way too far. I used to be the most social person I know, and I used to love coming and trying to prove that I was the man. It was a whole ego thing. I haven't left my house in over 2 years. Not even COVID related.
Like, it's... Dude...
Like, I used to have the biggest stereo system. I used to have the most money. I used to have the fastest car. I used to... Whatever. But I haven't left my house in over, 2 years other than to go to the store.
I mean,
I ain't missing anything.
I had this thought yesterday. Rich, it's something we were taught, 22 years ago in radio school together, and now it's an instinct I carry everywhere with me. When I am at work or I am in public, I act like there is a hot mic everywhere.
Yep.
Because there is.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any fucking thing outside of my own. I mean, at this point, doing these podcasts like this, we're taking our fucking lives in our hands. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, I was in the store earlier today, and it was a music related store, and of course, we're still acting like nobody has change. Even though everybody over the age of 60 has 5 10-gallon fucking water jugs full of change in their basement, but whatever. And so they're like, hey, would you like to just round up and donate to the children's music thing? And I'm like, Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. I hardly carry cash anymore anyway, so whatever. Fine.
I say no so people can hear me. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm not like, remember that episode of South Park? Randy Mark speaking to the microphone.
Now say into the microphone that you want children in Africa to starve to death. You're okay with it.
I'm not giving to the hungry kids. Yeah, no.
No, it was like, he goes, well, it's like 6 cents. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, for music education? So I reach in, I'm like, I got like an extra $1. He's like, I can't ring that up. I'm like, wait a minute. You can only round up a purchase to donate to music education. I go to hand you an extra $1 to give to that, and you can't do that. Literally, I'm 6 cents away from doing nothing but sending thoughts and prayers. I'm trying to help a little bit more. Like, I'm literally doing the absolute least I can do. And it was a black guy rang me up, by the way, older black guy. I'm sure he'd have laughed, but I'm sure the fucking young white women next to me would have had a problem. It was literally on the tip of my tongue, and I just, nope, don't say it. Because I was about to say, I mean, that's mighty Caucasian of me to give you 6 cents, but could you take this $1?
Oh, no.
I can feel a little bit better.
No, I get it, dude. I turn down podcasts when I'm in drive-thrus. Just on the off hand, somebody hears something they don't like.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's where we're at now, everybody. What the fuck? What'd you say?
Here's the thing.
1984 was it supposed to be an instruction manual?
Like, yeah, it's not a how-to manual.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you have people who go, this isn't a problem because I don't care. It's not affected anything I love. I know we're veering into unregimented territory, but I've said this on Unregimented. I've told you guys in personal conversation. I've said this on Sporgy plenty of times. I told the millennials, y'all think it's great because you get to, because literally you have two generations immediately older than you. Baby boomers and Gen X. Boomers don't give a fuck about you. They just don't. So they don't give a fuck. Gen X has been told, we ain't ever doing shit. You can throw all the shit fits and temper tantrums and everything you want. And you know what happens? We got our asses beat and told life isn't fair. Suck it up, buttercup. And that was the end of it. So as a consequence, we're not fucking telling them what they can and can't do because we're just accepting our shitty station in life that we happen to be born into. These assholes cancel everything, get rid of everything. Everything's sexist, everything's racist, everything's offensive, everything's homophobic. Great, wonderful. Until the generation after you comes for something you love. And now it's happening. Yeah, M fucking M.
Which I think is hilarious. Because first of all, your parents were the ones trying to shut it down, morons, initially, when it first came out. So you're trying to finish Mommy and Daddy's crusade?
Bingo. And don't get it wrong that a bunch of millennials are mad that an artist who is firmly in the middle of the Gen X generation and who boomers hardly know anything about besides what they've seen on fucking the news, that Gen Z is having more of an effect on him than people from his own generation. Because everybody knows you can't defend anybody at this point.
Well, to Gen X, we also turned that shit up. We didn't give a fuck. We're like, yeah, fucking, you guys heard fucking The Way I Am? This is the shit.
If they think we give a fuck, have you heard Don't Matter, Just Don't Bite It?
Yeah.
Or gee, I don't know, any Ghetto Boys? I mean, I could keep going. Like, there's plenty of shit that's way worse than Eminem.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know.
Well, too, what I find
he's
funny
white
is
and he's white and he's safe. It's safe to label him.
They're hopping on too. Gen Z is hopping on recovery and relapse. To borrow a phrase from you, the weak titty Eminem. Like, if you hear Kim, you're gonna fucking have to. You might call an officer to report an assault. Once you hear Kim, you are not gonna like what you hear.
Which one of us wants to break the news to Gen Z that the moaning on Rocket Queen on Appetite for Destruction was Axl Rose fucking his girlfriend at the time in the studio, like for real,
right?
So that's not fake moaning. That's him fucking a chick for her to make those noises. So I'm sure that's sexual assault, even though it was, he was recorded just as well. And obviously, if it was recorded, I don't think they recorded a rape, but You know how shit is these days. Everything's... And by the way, why is it if someone farts and it's deemed offensive by like 3 people on Twitter, then so it is declared, so it is. Yet, I'm sorry, OJ was at least found not guilty by we never got a fucking... With Kobe, he settled out of court. He gave that bitch so much money that she refused to testify. They had to drop the case.
And he gave his wife a big-ass ring.
He was never acquitted. So why is it when people go, yeah, he's probably a rapist, that's an issue? I mean, if you were 100% knew you were fucking right, would you fucking pay a bitch off?
Oh, you got the money, yeah.
Well, hang on a minute. I want to interject on this point. Mike Tyson didn't pay a bitch off. Mike Tyson knew he was 100% right. He went to prison knowing he was 100% right.
Absolutely. And just like Patrice O'Neal says, I decide whether people are guilty or not based on what I believe. And here's an honest to God's truth. I heard her story, and she was like, he forced oral sex on me. And I was like, damn, he made you suck his dick? And she's like, no, he ate my pussy. And that's when I was like, no, you weren't raped. What rapist tries to make you feel wonderful? Like, seriously, what rapist is going to be down there like, you can't even eat pussy with an angry face? You know what I'm saying? Like, stifle them cries while I peel your hood back and expose your clitoris for maximum stimulation and your enjoyment. Bitch, don't enjoy this shit. Like what? You see, common sense. People don't fucking use. Seriously. Like, you literally have this bitch's word that Mike Tyson raped her. He did 4 years in Indiana State Prison. He's a rapist. It's horrible. He's this, he's that, he's that, he's that. Okay, how's it different from the Kobe situation except for Kobe signed a check? Because that's all that happened. If he hadn't paid her off, she would have testified. Now, if she'd have testified, she'd have had to explain why there was, 5 other guys fucking cum dripping out of her fucking snatch in her underwear that night.
Now, Rich,
but you can't say anything about that.
This sounds stupid, Rich, but it's the truth. Kobe apologized. Mike didn't. And for some reason, when somebody famous gets caught doing something, it's bad rape, kick a bitch in the head, whatever. Once they say those words, I realize I'm wrong and I'm sorry. All the pitchforks and the flames go away. They put the torches out and they go home. I don't know why. Nah, dude. Maybe. And yeah, it's pathetic that we're talking about 15, 16 years ago. Maybe then. Not now. An apology is nothing but more than encouragement. That means you're weak. These people deal in absolutes, dude. These people deal in binary, left, right, wrong, sinner, saint, left, right, black, white. That's what these people deal in. You cannot reason with them. You can sit here and you can try to argue with me or Chris or whoever the fuck will listen to you till your last breath is taken. It's not going to change the fact that these people, they can't lose gracefully, they cannot win gracefully because they never learned how to do either. That's true.
We've gotten rid of that in society. We don't even keep fucking score in sports unless it's travel sports and you're paying $5,000-$6,000 for your kid to play for fucking 6 months out the year. And believe me, I'm dropping $6,000 on my fucking kid. You're keeping motherfucking score. You're telling me his stats. Because if this motherfucker can't hit above the Mendoza line, he ain't on the travel team at that price. You know, take your ass in the back and hit a wiffle ball around, motherfucker. I don't know. But serious. Dude, all this is bullshit, and no one cares. They just don't care.
Why can't we just be happy for Dak? Isn't that how this all started?
That's what I'm saying.
Every show. I'm not blaming you, Rich. It's just how it goes.
Dude, that's what I didn't understand. Like, I swear to God, dude, when you guys in the group chat said he got signed, the first 2 articles that I pulled up, the first half of those articles, we're talking maybe 7 to 10 paragraphs each article, easily 3 or 4 for both articles, was about how he didn't get paid as quickly as a white quarterback would have, and he was disrespected compared to how white quarterbacks are treated, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting here going, is he on the cover of Madden? Did he win an MVP? Wasn't the whole football world, when he won a playoff game last year, basically said, or last season, saying, this is validation for the early exits from before, or early exit from before. I mean,
well, I'll tell you too, the way he was playing this year, he was heading for MVP. Before his leg got broken, he was fucking on. He was the man the 5 weeks he played. Now,
I'm just saying,
his defense, yikes. But
I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand why, if you insist on shoving this shit into everything, you're going to poison the fucking well, man. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it.
What was that video that was going around last year that was popular? Like, how woke people and racists, it was essentially, a video about horseshoe theory. Thing. Yeah, it essentially said, who looks at everything through the lens of race? Racists.
Yeah. That's why I said the best quote I've heard about this whole thing, color only matters to racists. That is so fucking true.
Well, here's the problem. I don't know how if you grew up when we grew up, you haven't come out of this basically I call it doing head counts with everything now. I walk into a room, I watch a television show, I watch a movie, I'm watching a sporting event. Okay, how many white people, how many black people? God damn it, they got me doing it. Mm-hmm. I don't even realize it. I just do it now.
Yeah, but and I had this thought the other day too. We were Gen X was probably the first generation that grew up with I don't see color. Isn't that how we came up? We were taught to strip everything away, and when you get down to it, we all breathe oxygen, have 10 fingers, 10 toes, a brain, a heart, a penis or a vagina, an asshole.
We were actually raised with the words of...
It's stupid. It's stupid. But if you want to hear about Gen X, listen to the theme song for D-Generation X from WWE.
Oh, boy.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You think you could tell us what to do? You think you could tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? We were raged against the machine. We went against everything that people said. We said we are ourselves and that's it. Come do something. All right, leave me alone.
I do agree with that to an extent because seems like...
I do, Ice. You brought it around nicely.
There's a lot of people who... It's like... they want to lump everybody into these monolithic groups, not based upon anything they've done, based upon arbitrary things that were out of their control. Their gender, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation, whatever the fuck. Okay? And you can't do anything with that, dude. You can't. Because you got too many fucking people who are afraid of confrontation, biting their tongue. When someone asks someone a direct question, if they start stuttering and stammering, you're getting an edited version of that person. You're not getting the truth. I want the fucking truth. I don't care if it's a fucking ugly truth that's going to piss me off, because believe me, let me live with the lie for about 5-6 years, then find out the truth. You better move and change your fucking identity, period. Because there's been one person who fooled me for that long that's still drawing breath. And it's only because she's my ex-wife, period. Okay? If that bitch had disappeared, I'd have been the first when they went, hi, we're here to talk to you about... Yeah, I know why you're here.
Well, yeah, I've seen enough true crime, you'd be the first person they go to anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually, 9 times out of 10, it's always who it is.
And once again, Patrice O'Neal had it right. He's like, he goes, when I see a guy crying on TV about his lost wife, I'm like, he killed that bitch. Because no man cries about his missing wife. Like, I'm a party for a week. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Yeah, turn it up. Shit, hold on a sec. Dishes are piling up. Where's that bitch at? I ain't seen that bitch in like a week.
Looking like Scott Peterson going fishing and shit.
Yeah. But no, it's the truth, man. I mean, let's be honest here. Shit.
People hate us for that. Okay.
I don't give a fuck. It's the truth. Dude, how many times have we sat here in the 6 years we've been on this show and talked about the abuse that goes on between partners in the WNBA, the abuse that went on with Hope Solo and her roast beef fucking crotch against her fucking husband, and everybody just laughs and giggles. I've read stories verbatim where it's not that big of a deal. You'd think it's not that big of a deal. Ray Rice knocks his wife out. He has no career.
Oh, that was it for him. We haven't heard from him since 2014.
This bitch tried to kill her brother-in-law. She still got a fucking career.
She's starting tonight.
Dude, but that's what I was trying to tell you. That's what I was trying to tell you. You said that it wasn't, but it is. You have to say the words, I'm sorry. Ray Rice knocks his wife out in an elevator. Boom. Done. See ya. Okay, Kareem Hunt drop kicks WWE moves a bitch in the head. Says, oh, you know what? My bad. That was me. I'm sorry. All of a sudden, he's still playing in Cleveland.
He did kind of look like Tom when he got possessed by Steak Beaner. What did you say? You were popping that good shit a second ago, then you got kicked in your chest.
Well, he also peppered in. I mean, he played the media how you're supposed to. He peppered in a little bit of racism to kind of soften the blow. No pun intended.
Look, I don't. Here's the deal. Don't we have laws in this country? That's the other thing. I'm really fucking tired of this attitude of. I'm really tired of this attitude of. You can say anything you want to a white guy, a white woman, a straight person, whatever. Or basically, it's not even that. It's as long as you feel you're higher on the oppression pole than they are. And by being higher on the oppression pole, you figure that'd be a detriment. They want to be at the top of the oppression pole. So they get all the set-asides and all the platitudes and all the fucking crocodile tears. And it's like, are you kidding me? But if you say, like, hey, do you, I'm sorry, what's your last name? Yeah, my name's, Lamar. Well, my name's Lamar Jackson. Oh, okay, cool. Do you know Whitney Jackson from over at? Oh, because we're black, we know each other. That's racist. No, motherfucker, because you're from my area and your last name's Jackson. Like, you know how many times I've been asked, hey, what's your last? Which I ain't gonna say, but my last name, and people hear it and they're like, oh, are you related to Jamal so and so? And I'm like, do I look like I'm related to anybody named Jamal? Seriously,
But then how come Julian Edelman's allowed to be the spokesman for all Jewish people? How's that work?
Because, I mean, if we're talking about underrepresentation in the fucking sporting world.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I guess.
Hey, how come we don't hear no crying about that? How come we don't hear about no crying about... Jeremy Lin was a thing. Yao Ming was a thing. How come we ain't hearing more crying about... I'm just wondering.
Oh, Jeremy Lin came out a couple weeks ago to talk about he's been called coronavirus on the court.
Yeah, and boy, I'm glad, especially probably in the pickup games he's playing against a bunch of average fucking white boys who just got done raiding the Capitol. Or are you playing with a bunch of hood motherfuckers who talk shit? Because that's what you do when you play sports.
The first thing I thought when I heard that was like, dude, this ain't your... Linsanity was 10 years ago. This ain't your first day. The opportunity to talk shit presents itself. You take whatever opportunities you can get.
Jay
Obviously,
Moore.
talking about Meyer, I'm going to be the first. I don't know if I'm the only, but I didn't know what the hell it was. I didn't.
You're on your own on there, dude. I told you it's pretty well known. It's like that is the Jewish N-word, man. You don't say that.
It's one of those like slanders that to me is something like our great grandparents would say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, no, I don't think. Outside of really good friends busting balls, because Earl and I, Earl even more so than I, but he grew up with a kid, and I met a kid years later when he's a teenager that was his friend that is Jewish. And he's kind of a dick about it at times, so we give him shit, because that's what we do, because it's our group of friends. It's prison rules. If you bring an ugly bitch around, forget it. You wear the wrong shirt to a party, forget. Earl wore a satin shirt on a hot day.
Oh, my God.
Or a silk shirt on a hot day. Oof. No undershirt. No. We got 5 years of material out of that day, dude.
How long did baloney jokes fly at you, man?
It wasn't even that, dude. It was like a tropical silk shirt. It was beautiful. And when I put it on, it felt so good. But I was in an air-conditioned house.
Yeah, and then you went outside and it just straight wrapped to your body. It was tropical, all right. I'm sure it was a Category 5 hurricane in your armpit,
Yeah,
dude.
a lot of
I'm
moisture.
serious.
It was ziplocked in my shit.
That shit was like a second skin. You see what I'm saying?
Still getting shit for it. No. No, that's how the guys roll, man.
Yes. So I learn the difference, okay? If you're on the court and say, you know how many times I've been called that special N-word that we can't say because it's got magical properties apparently? But how many times I've been called that playing sports by black guys? Now, should I be like, oh, time out. I think we need to have an encounter session here because I'm feeling a little unsafe. We need to go to the trust tree and get into the trust nest because I feel that word, they're going to be like, Negro, shut your white ass up and fucking dribble the goddamn ball. What are you talking to? Cracker ass motherfucker. And tell Aunt B, she better have my bean pies. I'm going to kick her ass.
Yeah, and by the way, I always tried to bring up that cracker. That cracker is the white N-word. No, it's not. Because not everyone's... Not everyone... I laugh at crack. You call me a cracker, I laugh.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the white N-word is racist. You want to get under a white person's skin, you call them a racist.
And it's yeah. And I mean, it's just, and then here's, you remember when we were on our regimented, when we had the wonderful conversation about, it was on Jezebel.com, that bastion of fucking intellectualism right there. It was like, straight black men are the new straight white men. And I'm like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard in my life. That's like saying, a woman is now the new platypus. That doesn't even make fucking sense. What the fuck does that mean?
Let me ask you this question, Rich. When you play Madden and all of the EA Sports games, when you're playing a game, do you know the person you're playing against online?
No, most time, no. Vast majority, 99.9% of the time, no. Yeah.
Okay, so if you, like, if he outdoes you or she outdoes you in whatever, are you telling me you've never looked at your TV and went, oh, you stupid bitch, motherfucker, shit?
Well, I've said that. By the way, thank you.
Now with the mic on.
Yeah. Now we just got pulled off of like 5 different. Oh no, I'm glad you think it's funny. Because when Chris gets his tax bill, because we once again aren't making money because we're off of all the platforms, he'll send it to you, asshole.
Yeah,
because I ain't paying for it.
That one might get us pulled from YouTube.
Yes, you, dude.
Oh my God.
So, Chris, please make a note of the time. Get rid of that and the reference. Jesus fucking Christ! I didn't feel like I had to tell you this before we started.
All right. So let me redo that.
Thanks for making more work for me, Ice.
Yeah, my bad. All right. So, Rich, when you play this game, have you ever looked at the TV when they outdid you and used some references that you normally wouldn't use outside your house?
Of course. Dude, when we used to play NHL 95, 96 sitting next to each other. If one of us scored, the other one in a fight.
But you're actually talking to me. But when you talk to your TV, you're not actually calling the person you're playing against these names. You're just frustrated and pissed.
Dude, we know.
Because for all you know,
I get the point you're making, dude, but this is just the world we live in now, dude.
Here's the problem. It wasn't like someone like his neighbor.
Yeah, it was
tiptoed like Michael Jackson on his way to sniff little boys' booty holes.
Yeah, it was a rando.
And peeked in his room and recorded him doing it. He put himself online streaming, playing. You knew you were being recorded. So you got one of two things here.
No.
Hold on, you got one of two things here. He either didn't care or he doesn't know what that word means and how offensive that word is to certain people. And either hold on. Either way, if he doesn't care and he's just unrepentant about it or just like, the fuck you talking to? Because, dude, I've had people fucking say shit that, Chris, first fucking day of specs, they teach us how to pronounce certain words. They broke it down to us. It's not Arab, it's Arab. Arab is racist. Arab, acceptable. It's not Italian, it's Italian. Italian's racist. Italian's acceptable. Never call a Pakistani a Paki. That's like using an N-word for a black person. And we're literally sitting in a class. How many people would you say were there first just ballpark it, like
50-ish.
And the ones that were the most shocked, be honest or I'll be honest, mostly the black kids, right? They were like, Arab, you can't, Italian, that's racist? I never knew that. That's how I want Italian dressing. Arab, I just thought that's what they were called. I'm like, no.
That's true, yeah. I do remember that. Which funny too, whenever I hear Italian, I always tell people, like, do you say Polish?
Yeah. Well, some might, but they might be Polish themselves. So, you know.
I know, but Earl, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, trust me, there was a story a month or so ago about a golfer named Justin Thomas. He missed a shot on the golf course, and they have live mics out there now. Yep. And he called himself a fucking F word, slang for a gay person. I mean, he had to apologize. He lost a sponsor or two. I mean, he's still on the tour. But I mean, and I'll tell you, the first thing I thought, Ice, was like, because I golf a lot, was like, who among us? I was texting a couple of my friends. Who among us has not, like, you mic me up when I'm golfing, that's it, it's over. Like, the shit I say when I miss a shot, holy shit. Like, so I get what you're saying, Ice, but at the same time, like, it's, Dude, we live in a new world. The mic's hot everywhere. When you're playing video games, when you're buying fucking shit at the grocery store.
But just what I'm saying is just because you've used the word doesn't mean you use it in a context that's
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore. Context is dead, dude. We've been talking about that on this show and Unregimented for 6-7 years with millennials and below, man. Context is dead. It doesn't exist to them.
So we just aren't allowed to say certain words ever anymore.
This is the world we live in now, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the George Carlin list of shit you can't say.
Oh, it's 70 words now.
It's well expanded. We actually sat for like about 40 minutes on Unregimented about 3-4 years ago and read a list of banned words and phrases on college campuses. And even Aaron, who will blue sky the most ridiculous of this shit, was like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. And I was like, but you'll forget this the next time we bring it up, won't you? Of course you will. Okay. Because it's not connected. All the pieces matter about Russia and Trump, right? Gotcha. But none of the pieces matter about this, right? Gotcha. Put your head back in the sand.
All right, well, let me ask you
how Russia wasn't involved with this past election.
Words.
But anyway.
It's bad words. I got it. And you can't say them, and damn if you do, and all that. But is it worth costing a man a career?
To some people, yeah.
Playing a video game and making a statement?
Yes, dude. Yes. What part of this don't you understand yet?
To us, no.
All of
people are not rational.
All the way back
logical.
First thing they said on this show today. I am done with this shit. That's why I don't leave my house.
Listen to me. They will go out and riot and loot for an entire fucking summer over a man they never met. And that's not violence. That's not a crime to them. But if you say one word that they find offensive, that's you are inciting violence against me personally with your speech. That needs to be banned speech. That's where we're at, dude. And you know what? You want people to blame? Take a good look around you. Because it happened on our watch. I don't know if we were too busy trying to get weed legalized or what, but it happened on our watch. And we never told it. We raised us and the tail end of Gen X and the tail end of the boomers, raised millennials, are raising Gen Z, and we're letting them get away with this shit because we don't know how to tell our children no. And that's what this is, dude. They don't know how to accept the word no. No, you're going to hear things you don't like. You're going to have shit that you do not agree with happen every single day. But they're not. We haven't prepared them, dude. And this is my problem.
My problem is it was instilled upon me so harshly, so memorably, I can't ever let go of it. It's like my fucking femur bone.
Yeah, and that's why you're a dyed-in-the-wool racist to them.
That's fine, but I will remember this till the day I die. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words
will always hurt me.
No, never ever hurt me.
That's not how it is these days. Dude,
I can't
Xbox.
Sporty. ChristopherMedia.net.
Gym sessions and sweaty summer activities are back, which means more funky smells in your clothes because sweat leaves behind bacteria that causes those hard-to-remove odors. Clorox fabric sanitizer products are ready to zap the stink out of fabrics in your home by getting rid of 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria. Eliminate odors in every load or sanitize fabrics between washes with one of our fabric sanitizer products. Search fabric sanitizer at Clorox.com to learn more. When it counts, trust Clorox. Use as directed.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Gym sessions and sweaty summer activities are back, which means more funky smells in your clothes because sweat leaves behind bacteria that causes those hard-to-remove odors. Clorox fabric sanitizer products are ready to zap the stink out of fabrics in your home by getting rid of 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria. Eliminate odors in every load or sanitize fabrics between washes with one of our fabric sanitizer products. Search fabric sanitizer at Clorox.com to learn more. When it counts, trust Clorox. Use as directed.
Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at Express.com and in stores. Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at Express.com and in stores.
ChristopherMedia.net. Sporty.
Xbox has this inclusive program that they put ads all over their shit. Because, you know, nowadays, if you have a game console, it's always, if it's not connected to the internet, it's pretty much a paperweight. Anybody who's a gamer knows this. So they put ads, live ads, all over the place on your home screen. In games, they put live ads. And one of the ones I'm seeing now is, you know, oh, this is all about, you know, we're trying to make, a better world. And treat people not how you want to be treated, but how they want to be treated. Well, wait a minute. Which one has more room for fucking abuse? Treating someone how they want to be treated and me interpreting that, or treating someone how I'd like to be treated? Because unless I'm out here and I'm a sadist or a masochist, I don't want to be treated badly. So I better not treat other people badly. But it's totally lost in this generation because it's, no, how are you going to treat me? Everybody else needs to change for me. I'm special.
Yeah, the do unto others as you will have done unto you. That.
Guys, this is totally unregimented area, but it is a very fucking scary thing. And if it ever does fucking come, and who knows at this point, to fucking 5 years ago, I'd say we'd never, well, okay, let me, I'm getting ahead of myself. They took a fucking poll of Republicans, registered Democrats. Like, almost 50% of Republicans are down with red states and blue states separating, dividing this country along political lines. And over 25% of Democrats are. Guys, that's not that fucking far from a majority.
Nope.
Okay? That's where we're at in this world. If people can't get their fucking way all the time, they'd rather destroy almost 250 fucking years of progress. Why? Because shit that happened back 250 plus years ago was horrible in this country. And you can't rationalize with them. You cannot. You can beg them, you can kowtow to them, you can acquiesce to them, you can do whatever you want. It's never enough. And so the only way to win is not to play the fucking game, period. And I really wish we'd get someone in the fucking sports world, because that's where, believe it or not, there's been a lot of gatekeeping and pushback. Because once a lot of fandoms saw what happened to, sci-fi shows, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, all the bullshit they started pulling, and them trying to pander to people, they were like, not our hobby, not our pastime. And I think people in sports need to stand the fuck up and go, look, man, whether I support your fucking political stance or not is irrelevant. I'm not here for this. If this is what you want to fucking, if you want me to go to a baseball game go to a political rally dressed up as a baseball game, I'm not going. And that's all there is to it. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. LeBron got told shut up and dribble by another fucking athlete, and it was completely blown off. None of the points he made were ever addressed, because all you have to do is go, racist. And it's like Chappelle said, after he said, you know what, fuck this 50 million, fuck this Comedy Central show, I'm done, I'm going to get my head right. And they called him crazy. Once he was labeled crazy, you can dismiss everything he says and does without ever having to address it or look at it. And that's what this blanket label of racism has done. Well, you want racist, because you're creating them. I'm going to tell you that. You're creating quite a few, and you can't see it.
Yeah, you're training people to always just look for it.
Not just racist. There's any type of issue you want to put to it, sexist and all that. I don't know if Chris, if you followed up with this, but Shaquille O'Neal did stand up. He is the one that doesn't go with the flow. He did tell Candace Parker, soft, run down the court, don't give him the corner threes.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And she was, trying to tell him that he
tried to call him
didn't follow the new sports.
He's out of touch.
And, okay, if he's out of touch, then everyone I know is out of touch, because on International Women's Day, which ironically they didn't bring up, the NHL had a bunch of bullshit about women hockey players I've never heard of, don't care about, haven't done anything, haven't broke any ground. They're just women hockey players. But they don't talk about men in Renault, the first woman to ever play fucking between the pipes in the NHL against men. Is that because the younger generation has no sense of history, doesn't care, because they're so busy trying to virtue signal that look at everything that happens on our watch, aren't we great? No, because everything you're trying to do, we already did. You dropped the ball. You were so busy playing with your bullshit fucking Pokemon bullshit and watching the Osbournes in the early 2000s to actually get off your ass and do something, pick up the fucking baton we handed you. You dropped the ball on that, not us. Look in the mirror. That's a you problem. But you don't have anyone who's got the balls to tell them that. So you know what? I posted about it. And guess what? Every real knowledgeable hockey fan I knew come out of the fucking woodwork to throw a fucking thumbs up or a comment on that fucking post. Isn't that fucking funny? Isn't that fucking funny that a bunch of horrible racist white men know more about what women have done in the NHL than the fucking NHL apparently itself?
Yeah.
Just saying. Wait. How else am I supposed to interpret this? You tell me.
Hey, they're back on ESPN.
Yeah, wait 1 second before you move into that one. Wait. What I was trying to say before my dog jumped up and knocked me off the air was Shaquille O'Neal did that with Candace and made her look so soft. So she wasn't stupid. She knew her shit. All right. But he made her look so soft on how to play the game. People were calling him sexist because he talked down to a woman NBA star.
Well,
and trying to demean her.
So
and
so she's allowed to talk shit about him, but he can't defend himself.
Wait.
Yes, that's Earl's very long-winded way of saying what you just said in 2 seconds, Chris.
No. People came to Shaq's defense and said, with how he played and what he achieved, he can say whatever the fuck he wants about the sport to whoever he wants.
I hope those people, I hope they can get their unemployment claim through before the fucking federal bump kicks out, because they're done with jobs.
Well,
and if you think I'm bullshitting,
well, I agree with them.
Watch how they do it. Watch how they do it. By the way, real quick, because they're sneaky. They figured this out. They don't even meet unless you say something like it's a hanging offense. Unless you come out and say some really dumb shit, they'll slowly but surely over the next month or two, they'll part ways with those people. We came to a difference in contract dispute and decided to part ways mutually. No, you didn't. You fired people because they dared to speak their fucking mind. By the way, that's what you supposedly pay them for?
And dude,
right?
Shaq retired in 2011. How much has the game changed in 10 years? I mean, it's changed, but not that drastically.
And by the way, one of the few players who firmly straddled both eras.
Yeah.
Who's sitting in a position to talk about it.
He's like Mamba. He started in one era, finished in another.
Exactly. And once again, so did guys like, Iverson, Big Ben,
even
fucking Sheed.
Even LeBron's probably going to get that, man, because LeBron's like Tom Brady, right? LeBron's going to be the guy that he's going to be he started in one era, and he's the guy that kind of helped get it changed to another era.
LeBron started in what, 2003 was his first season?
I think 3 or 4. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, it was the 2002 going into 2003, I believe, was his first season.
I was setting up band gear for a show watching him get drafted, so it was definitely me, like early 2000s.
And the reason I say that is because the year after he was drafted, I believe the Pistons won the championship, and the league had already changed. If anybody's trying to fucking say he straddled fucking the old school and the new school, they can kiss my entire ass, because that's horse shit. He got into the league had already been softened up quite a fucking bit. The league got softened up the minute Shaq fucking signed with the Lakers. When
what I was saying, though, is that was the first time that I seen the old guard be defended and on the merit of what he did for the game. And
this is I'm assuming Shaq said this in the last month.
Yep.
Give it another 3 to 6 months, and let's see those people that came out and vocally supported him, see where they're at. Because I guarantee, if they're not working for a network, they're going to lose sponsorships. They're going to have a fucking backlash to them. Guys, Curt Schilling isn't in the Baseball Hall of Fame because of his politics. I don't agree with Curt Schilling's politics. I think Curt Schilling is a fucking asshole. Just like I think Randy Johnson is a fucking asshole. Roger Clemens, fucking asshole. That does not at all affect whether they belong in the Hall of Fame or not. Yeah. It does not at all affect how good they were when they stepped between those lines on the fucking field.
You're literally saying what Stephen A. Smith said about Curt Schilling. If if he's in the room with me, we'd be, I think he sucks as a person, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I said, but he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly what Seth said about him.
And when you have for so long, the flag-carrying woke flake of ESPN, besides Jemele Hill, but she hasn't been there in 4 years now?
Well, she's still there. She's been banished to the cornfield. They have her. That Undefeated that's an ESPN website, but that's all she does.
The only time I hear her is she's pulling out race bait and shit like she's fucking Jesse Jackson and it's 1981 or some shit. I'm waiting for her to fucking say New York's High-Me Town or some shit.
Well, she's got to do
so
it
much
now.
Like Jesse Jackson.
Because of where she's been banished to, she's got to throw up Molotov cocktails on Twitter to get noticed.
And that's pathetic. Like, seriously, that's pathetic. if you are a sports commentator and no one listens to you unless you get out and say some inflammatory, like libelous shit against somebody, how good of a sports reporter can you really be?
Remember that fight over the summer or fall where Jake Paul knocked somebody out and he was a black guy? She actually said on her show Jake Paul knocking a black guy out was racist.
Yes, because anytime anybody does anything better than a black person, it's racist. And by the way, if you think I'm being silly and I'm exaggerating, look at some of the better known colleges in this country and their new admission standards when it comes to white and Asian students. Because guess what, y'all? Everybody in the Far East. You East Side, I Far East Side. Yeah. Guess what? You one of us now. You in the same boat. Welcome to the Cracker family. Because this group of people have decided that you and I are exactly the same, even though somehow them being black or Hispanic or whatever the fuck and me being white makes us like separate fucking entities. I mean, not even the same species, apparently. Asian people and white people are exactly the same according to them. Because now Asian people are getting the bump. No, too many Asians. No, sorry. Do they work harder? I mean, the kids I knew that come from like a legit Asian family, not an Americanized, been here for fucking 150 fucking years, and no one speaks a lick of their fucking native tongue. I'm talking, walk in the house, you call it a house, and the first thing they answer the phone goes bush bushy. They don't even fucking answer it in English. They answer it in fucking Japanese. Hard work, success, no excuse making, personal responsibility, all those things very much pushed in every Asian friend's family that I had growing up. And those are the very things that these people run from. Those are all bad words. Those are horrible concepts. That's mediocrity. Or not mediocrity. That's you know the word I'm trying to. I can't even think of the bull. They pull so many bullshit terms out of their fucking yeast-infected vaginas, and that's just the men. I can't keep up with their fucking bullshit. Okay, whatever the fuck it is, mediocrity, whatever the fuck. Oh, it's all based on how good you are. Yeah, motherfucker. Because when you need open heart surgery, I want someone who can't even fucking count to 3 doing it on you. That way you get what you've been asking for. How about that?
Do you ever notice that whenever something like that goes down, they always have the best doctor, though? Like, whenever somebody's about to get surgery, they're like, we got the very best. He's awesome. He knows what he's doing. You never hear anybody go, well, he's not the best, but we're really excited about this guy.
That's because...
You don't hear that shit.
It's because the vast majority of this world loves living lies. And that's just all there is to it. It's all bullshit and lies. And most people would rather you lie to them to make them comfortable. It just doesn't matter. Because think about it. Okay, how many times we see athletes, I'll give it all up for Jesus, all up for God, musicians, I'll give it up for Jesus, all for God, blah, 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 and all this bullshit. And then they get sick. And they don't just put it up in God's hands. They go to every fucking specialist and spend every last penny of their offspring's fucking inheritance trying to keep their ass alive. Why? If you know where you're going for sure when you die, and it's so much better than here, why aren't you running towards the light, you chicken shit?
Rich.
Because you're living a fucking lie. You're living a lie, and you always have.
Keep preaching, man. Because when you were talking, the only name that kept popping in my head was Magic Johnson.
Absolutely.
Playing all of these great games and give my glory to God and thank God for the Lakers, the organization. His ass got infected. His bank account went to 0, but he's alive.
That's why I had to start opening movie theaters. Shit. Yeah. But no, man. All bullshit aside, this is nothing new, and it's just not. We've went from when we were kids, it was the religious people, the more conservative side of politics was in power. Okay, we didn't hear, gay people are this, gay people are that, gay people. We heard you can't listen to metal, you can't play with He-Man, you can't fucking watch Grand Theft Auto, you can't listen to 2 Live Crew. We want to fucking throw people in jail for singing songs and ban books and video games because of our religious beliefs. And what happened? Rightfully so, a whole generation stood up, stuck their middle fingers collectively in the air, and said, tongue fuck my unwiped asshole, cocksuckers. Fuck you. Fuck you. And that's what we should have done. And we should still be doing it to these fuckers coming from the other fucking side. I don't care that they're coming from the left. Fuck you, cocksucker. I just ate a Crave case full of jalapeno fucking sliders and drank a Dirty 30 of Natty Ice. Get back there and clean Daddy up, motherfucker.
Yikes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Don't stop till you're full of peanuts.
Have fun with that mental image, everybody.
Oh, God.
I hate these motherfuckers. I wish they'd all fucking die, dude. I swear to God, man. I'm so sick of this shit. So sick of it. Every fucking thing, dude. Well, this is why we talk about it every week, Chris, because you're absolutely right. Every fucking week they find new ways to fucking shoehorn this bullshit into fucking sports. I can't... Dude, ESPN, back on NHL, NHL, back on ESPN. I didn't hear shit about it. You know what I heard shit about? How it's racist that they're only allowing certain people or certain amounts of people in the stadiums this summer. Well, black people and poor people can't afford to go. How is that any different than before Corona? Why is this racist now? It's like we talked about. They're going to open up, what, 7,500 people, I think they said, for Comerica Park, something like that?
Yeah.
41,000 and some change. Almost 43 was standing room only. Who do you think's going to be there? People buying fucking $10 Skyline tickets? Fuck no. They're going to sell the most expensive tickets to the people who are willing to pay the most. That's what we've done for fucking 250 years. Now it's a problem. By the way, these people can afford to go. They don't want to, though. So why are you listening to them? They are voluntarily not giving you their fucking money. Why are you listening to them? That's bad business, period. And let me tell you something. I give it 2 years for the ESPN's or for NHL's off ESPN. I give it 2 fucking years. You know why? Because they're going to do the same fucking shit they did before. They're going to fucking bury it on ESPN2 or ESPN News or whatever the fuck. They're not going to fucking shit. ESPN, I guarantee they won't bring back NHL tonight.
No, it'll be on ESPN Plus. It'll be the one you got to pay for.
So
well, that's my theory. Don't take that. That's just.
But that makes more sense. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that because they've been pushing that package with Disney Plus and ESPN Plus and whatever. Hulu I think owns ABC or ABC owns Hulu. So or maybe it's NBC. Whatever the fuck it is. They've been pushing that bullshit. So yeah, I didn't even think about that. But dude, it doesn't change the fact that and let's get into some sports shit for a second here. Gary Bettman thinks that he come from the NBA. He still thinks that somehow, even though he's been there for 30 fucking years almost in the NHL, that he's in the NBA. You don't have that type of bargaining power. You flopped your little fucking baby raisin purse out and tried to act like they were fucking an adult set of fucking nuts. And ESPN sent you home with your little baby raisin nuts in a fucking sling for a goddamn better part of 2 decades. Now you're going to come back and stick your tongue up their fucking ass and try to give them some fucking channel maintenance with it and think that, oh, shit's going to be perfect? You've destroyed the fucking sport for an entire generation of people. How many fucking people that are like 20 are going to turn on ESPN and go, what the fuck is this? I don't even know what I'm looking at.
You actually ride around on ice cold surface? Are you nuts?
Dude, when I lived in New York, I was a fucking hour and a half from Buffalo. Buffalo was going to conference finals, was going to cup finals at that point in time. Had Dominic Hasek in net. Excellent fucking team. And by the way, the part of New York I was in didn't root for the Giants or the Jets. They rooted for the Buffalo Bills. So I know Buffalo was their fucking town. Literally, they're in the fucking conference finals. I'm watching the game with a friend of mine who watches all sports except for hockey, and he goes, "Oh, there's no strategy. They just chase the puck around. That's it." I'm like, dude, how do you know this little about hockey? I don't know. I never see it on ESPN. I'm like, dude, every time I come in your house, ESPN's on. I know. How's it going to be different? Tell me. This is just because fucking ESPN wants to get some fucking in on the streaming money, because right now there's people who can't go, especially if you're in Canada, can't go to a fucking hockey game. They'll be more than willing to fucking pay for ESPN Plus. Because I think we've already covered what happens when you get the fucking the center ice package. I mean, yes, they dropped it down to like, was 100, 150. We looked it up on air. I can't remember, a month or so ago. It's like 150, maybe even $200, whatever. Cheap, way cheaper than it used to be. It used to be like $350, at least on satellite that I had.
Right.
But then they black out your local fucking games and then you can't watch the local games on Hulu because they don't care. Because here in Detroit, they don't carry local sports Detroit stations. What the fuck are you gonna do? So let's say you go and you pay for that, then you find out, oh shit, no, better get Hulu. Oh shit, Hulu doesn't carry Detroit sports stations. Well, I better pay fucking for ESPN Plus and hope that my team isn't blacked out. That's essentially what you're doing.
Pretty much.
That is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous. So yay, they're back. I don't care. So a bunch of people who didn't give a fuck about the sport 16 years ago are going to all of a sudden care about the sport that they haven't been told about for 16 years? I was only half joking with that meme I sent. I'm serious. No, I'm dead serious. I'm waiting for him to be like, could LeBron James play hockey if he wanted to? Stay tuned. We'll investigate after the break. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Because they did this shit with him. Could he have played football if he wanted to? And then he comes out, yeah, I could have been a pro football player. Oh, really? I'm sorry. How many years of football did you play? No. You know that motherfucker barely paid attention in high school because he knew he was going first overall.
I was thinking, though, the way he called out his team in the NBA, if he did that shit in the NFL... Red jersey or not, motherfucker, you're done.
Oh, it's not even that, man. He's talking about being a tight end. Okay. They're going to be throwing across the middle and high all day to you so you can get knocked the fuck out real quick. Talking all
Looking
that
like
shit.
Stephen Willie Beeman at the fucking party at Sharks Party on any given Sunday.
Yeah, motherfucker, you ain't Antonio Gates. You ain't Gronk. You ain't fucking Travis Kelce. Or, Tony Gonzalez. No one wants to hear what you got to fucking say. Especially, you ain't even a tight end in the fucking NFL. Like, did he even have any interest from any college team to draft him? Or not draft him, but to sign him as an NFL player? Like, I don't remember hearing about that at all. And he thinks he can come out and... Sure, I'm big. Oh, because that's all it takes, right? Earl, you and I know a very uncoordinated... very pale, redheaded man who's about 6'5", 6'6". I don't think he could fucking chew gum and walk at the same time. What does size got to do with shit? Doesn't mean you have, and just because you got skill sets to play basketball doesn't mean you got them to play other sports. If you think I'm bullshitting, go on YouTube and look up some of those Red Wings charity softball games from the 90s and 2000s and watch the European players try to figure out how to work a baseball bat. And I'm not joking. Fucking Fisher. He used to bat one-handed because he couldn't get to swinging a bat with two hands. That's a professional athlete, folks. All right, one set of skills in one sport does not guarantee you're going to be awesome in another sport.
Yeah. I mean, MJ in baseball.
Exactly. Come on, man. Like, we settled this fucking decades ago.
Tim Tebow in baseball.
Tim Tebow in pro football versus college football. Reggie Bush versus pro football. Vince Young versus pro football, college. You know, there's a very big talent jump between, playing college ball and playing high school ball, and there's a quantum fucking jump between the pros and college ball. So for some fucker who never even played fucking high school ball, talks shit like he could make it in the pros, okay, you're like the fat dude who's like 70 at the end of the bar talking about he could have fucked Anne Margaret when he had the chance in her prime. Okay, everybody laughs at you and just waves you off, dude. That's it. You're just a boombox sitting at the end of the bar, just there and entertain us when we're bored for a few seconds till we find something else more exciting. That's it. I mean, come on, man. But once again, that speaks to the mindset of athletes, and yet they think that they're still like grounded in reality with us, plebeians here, scrounging for scraps. I mean, I'm just going to go out on a limb and ask this question: when's the last time you think LeBron actually went grocery shopping, or anybody who is directly his children or takes his dick?
High school
for a paycheck.
High school.
Mm-hmm. And it was probably he probably, his hangers-on and his mama and his family were fucking running doing that shit for him. Because you know they were just waiting. But Nike's got how much waiting for you when you turn 18? Yeah, okay.
$90 million?
You want 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's? Right back, Bron. I mean,
you guys, you forgot the best one. Michael Jordan, pro basketball, pro baseball.
No.
The GOAT in one sport, not even in the other one.
No, Chris brought that up. No, he totally brought that up. But, and then, I mean, here's the thing. I guess I should be excited, my favorite sport's getting more exposure, but ultimately, especially now with the now that I know it's on ESPN Plus, that's not more exposure. People have to pay and seek it out. The only hope for the NHL on ESPN is if you put that shit on on cable like you used to, and hope to God you can draw a tenth of the fucking numbers you used to, because people are flocking from cable like Magic Johnson behind a fucking AIDS clinic near a fucking dumpster full of used needles. All right, it's just fucking. I don't even know anyone who's got cable anymore. You got cable, Earl?
Yeah, I got cable.
Okay, there's the one I know.
Well, it's kind of cable. I mean, it's wireless cable. It's really weird. You stream. It's AT&T streaming, fiber optics.
No, I got you. The point is that everybody I know either just watches shit illegally or just has a rotating list of streaming services they pay for. And okay, I'll get Netflix for 3 months, and I'll get HBO for 3 months, and I'll get Amazon Prime for 3 months. And, everything else I can fucking bootleg online.
Well, if anybody wants to do it and have something and watch it just for free, watch Roku Stick, man. Roku Stick is badass.
Well, I got a Roku TV, and I can't watch shit for free except for Rock of Love fucking reruns, and I don't give a fuck about that shit. There's whole channels dedicated to bad 2000s and late 90s fucking MTV and VH1 reality shows. But yet I try to fucking watch, a live game. I got the FBI breaking down my door, sticking a fucking, M1 up my fucking ass because, oh shit, you looked at 2 seconds of something without paying for it. We got to kill you now. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Seriously? So I don't know, man. If you know a way to do it, hit me up, because I'll fucking, if there's some way to hack a fucking Roku TV and get some shit, cool, great, wonderful. Because there ain't no free shit up here. I don't know if it's regional or what.
I don't know. There's channels on there. It's like Tubi, TUBI, and all kinds of shit on my Roku stick.
Yeah, and you know what they show? Documentaries about motherfuckers who climbed Everest and died 50 fucking years ago. I don't give a shit about that. What the fuck is that? Oh, look, great, wonderful. A documentary about fucking the study of Lee Harvey Oswald's pubic hair. I don't give a shit.
I don't know. I got Discovery Plus because I had Verizon, and it's weird, I guess. It's just set up weird for me.
Well, once again, here's to bring it back to sports, because this is something I'm starting to wonder about. What the fuck is this? Are the leagues going to do this summer? Because we've already had a clear-cut case, it seems like, of there are states or cities who have teams who fall on one side, being the more cautious, and there's states and cities who have teams who fall on the other side, which is we don't give a fuck. Like,
I'm going to give my opinion, but it's only my opinion. But I'm almost sure that they are having conversations that go something like, all right, the pandemic's kind of run its course, vaccines, yada, yada. I think we're all over this, yeah? Let's just abide by the rules that are set and hope for the best. Whatever comes up, we'll deal with it then.
And I say, fuck you if that's how you're dealing with it. Make your fucking players get vaccinated. Like, I do not understand. Like, nobody will do it. Not one sports league, not a company, why is everyone so fucking afraid to mandate a vaccine? I don't understand it.
Here's what I don't get, is that it's still being, they were just talking about it today. Literally, 3 hours ago, I was listening to this on the local sports station, that Michigan's considering you can't go to any sporting event, gathering, concert, unless you have papers saying you're fully vaccinated.
But we won't make the. But that's the thing. Great, in Michigan we'll have to do that, but they won't make the Pistons get vaccinated. You know, the MLB's not going to make the Tigers get vaccinated.
Yeah, because the only thing I can think is they got money, and us, we got to do what we're fucking told.
Turn it around. If
you still get COVID, you got money. Tom Hanks was one of the first people with COVID.
I'm with you, man.
If you got papers from everybody in the stadium that says they were vaccinated, why do the athletes need to be vaccinated? Ain't no way nobody's got the fucking virus. They're vaccinated.
Because it's still a fucking... Really, dude? Do I have to explain science to you?
Hold on.
Not because them.
He's got kind of a point, because I brought this up the other day.
Because not all the vaccinated fans are going to be at the airports they're traveling through or at the hotels they're staying at.
Okay, he has kind of a point outside of that. I wasn't thinking about that. I'm talking about going someplace once you're vaccinated. What was it, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? Fauci comes out. Oh, you still have to mask up. You still have to socially distance. You still have to do all that if you're vaccinated. Then the CDC, who, if I'm correct, is one of his employers, literally came out the other day and said, if you're fully vaccinated and other people are fully vaccinated, you can gather without masks, go back to normal. Which is it? You tell us to listen to the science. Here's your head science guy. Here's your figurehead. Here's the mouthpiece you have chosen for this pandemic to be the voice of science. And one of his employers are telling the exact opposite, telling us to do the exact opposite of what he is. Which is it? And here's the problem. If anybody who can even be remotely tied to having any centrist or further right than centrist values, they're a conspiracy theorist, anti-vaccine nut. Yet, I hear this bullshit from these athletes about they're not getting vaccinations because they don't trust them. Well, why don't you trust them? Oh, because you built up some big conspiracy theory in your head? Well, why aren't we calling them out? I'll give you one guess.
What's that?
Well, you want to take the shot? Well, Brown says he's not getting vaccinated. They're race. No, they're not racist.
Oh, yeah. People have shields.
They're race.
Yeah.
They're race. All they got to do is go, Tuskegee Airmen. I don't trust science. I don't trust doctors. How's that any different than showing up? Okay, so you're going to possibly doom all these fucking people in your circle to whatever the fucking long-term effects, if the COVID doesn't kill them, that we still don't know what's going to happen long-term. You're going to condemn them to that because of something that happened that had nothing to do with you, and none of those people are there, and none of these people have their hands in anything right now. But yet you show up, if you showed up even in D.C. on the 6th, you didn't go into the Capitol building, you're a Q-tard. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're this horrible, horrible person.
I'd say to LeBron, you seem to trust the doctor. You tear something in your knee.
Ain't that a bitch? Make sure them fucking paychecks keep rolling in for that, But here's the problem, man. And this is what I don't get. If we make it mandatory for a sports league, if a sports league makes it mandatory, you know what's going to happen. You're going to just have people there and go, fuck it, I'm sitting out. Oops, I'm injured.
Fine.
Oh, how many? I've read like 3 stories of football players who retired last season who have now come out of retirement. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That was the fucking Gronk retirement plan. That was, I'm going to take a fucking year off and not risk fucking my life to play this goddamn game. That's what that was. That was your fucking fear making you fucking sit out a season. Don't call it a retirement. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's fucking raining, man. And by the way, the 3 prominent ones I heard, all offensive linemen. What are offensive linemen known for? Being big, biscuit-eating motherfuckers. 9 out of 10 people who've been hospitalized, and 7 out of 10 people who've been hospitalized who have died with COVID have all been, the one common trait they share is they're all overweight.
You watched Bill Maher this week?
No, I didn't. I just read the article.
Oh yeah, he brought
I
that
don't
up
watch
this week.
I don't watch Bill Maher anymore unless I fucking see a clip online, because I can't do it. I get enough of it from other places in my life.
Yeah, no,
Like,
he brought that up. That's the one thing that Fauci won't bring up is, because of the temperature in this country right now. He calls it the "How dare you remind me I'm fat" lobby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
I'm kind of siding with the athletes though.
What do you mean?
I'm scared of the vaccine.
Why?
Based on what? Because I used to work in a lab.
Why? So you can get COVID again and nothing can happen?
No. I used to work in a lab. All right, and there was a lot of Johnson & Johnson and all types of shit, Pfizer and all types of studies done in this laboratory. It's not a joke. I used to work there, okay? And when I
Thurgood
was doing these things, they do years of studies for skincare products. They do years of studies for certain medicines, for certain things. Years.
I already know where you're going, dude. It's a new way they were developing vaccines. That's why they were able to do it so quickly. And the Johnson & Johnson one was the old way of doing things. It was developed regular timeline.
Right, but you don't know the long-term effects of this vaccine. You just don't.
Wow.
It might cure cancer. It might cure COVID. That's great, but your limbs might fall off. You don't know.
Do you smoke?
Yes.
Shut up. For real. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm not trying to win the argument, but dude, you do something every day that you know the long-term effects of.
But I know what I'm doing.
And you know it's bad for you. And
I know what
you're
I'm
not
doing
willing to take the risk and to get the vaccine against COVID because you don't know
what could happen with cigarettes, Chris. What could happen? Not that it would, but it could. I don't even know what could happen with the corona vaccine. I don't even know what could pop the outcome.
How about the number one thing that they can prove is you won't get coronavirus? How about we start there and work our way backwards?
So what if I spend the next 3 years at fucking paraplegic?
So if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. You play you can play with everything.
I'm just saying, as a witness, first-hand witness of what a drug goes through and how long it has to be studied and what some of those studies have shown.
How long ago did you work in this lab?
Fucking what is it, 2021? 7 years ago.
Okay.
8 years ago.
Okay.
And it was the same lab that helped produce these drugs, by the way.
Okay, give you some perspective. In the year 2000, we all still had brick cell phones. By 2008, we all had an iPhone. You don't think medical technology could move that fast as well?
I absolutely do. However, there's no way they could produce.
How do you know, Doctor? How do you know, Dr. Fitz? How do you know there's no way?
Okay, hold on. I just want to point this out. Okay, because you're coming down on Earl. I got you. I understand where you're coming from. I also understand where Earl's coming from. But here's the thing. I guarantee you, Earl doesn't come into contact with 1/100th of as many people as LeBron does in a week that LeBron does in a day. Who is more likely to be a burden on society if they catch it because they refuse to get vaccinated? A billionaire who travels all over the fucking country and the world on a private jet at his own whim, or a guy who sits in his fucking house and pets his fucking pocket rat of a dog?
Oh, yeah, the billionaire. Of course.
Exactly. But we give them a fucking pass. Fuck you. You get the money.
I'll give him a pass.
You get the perks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get the money. They get the perks. You take the risk. Sorry. You don't want to? Then forego that check and sit out the season.
Yeah, no, that's what I say with all of them, dude. Hey, sorry, this is a global pandemic. You want to continue to collect your big checks? Well, guess what? You get a vaccine.
Well, what? Okay, what about we just look at it like this? What happens to the average person if the latest stimulus check or the latest stimulus bill didn't pass? Their unemployment's fucked. If you're under the federal unemployment, you're fucked. You're done. Sorry. Don't know what to tell you. Oh, yeah. Stimulus checks? Pfft. Even though they managed to lop off, 27 million people they're going to send those to after promising to. Hey, we went.
They're also
What happened to this shit?
they're also 600 short and 3 months late. But
Well, yeah, there's that too. But motherfuckers get too pedantic. And then well, technically you got 600 to the $2,000 before, and blah, 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 blah. It's
that's what it was. Yeah, that's
we have you on tape saying $2,000 checks go out the next day.
Well, technically, when I was fucking your mother in her ass, I asked her whose asshole it was one time, and she said mine, so I could just go blast her in her fucking stink star anytime I choose it, because it's mine, because she told me that one time, a long time ago.
That was the soundbite of the week that week for those fucking special elections, was Joe Biden saying that shit.
But, for whatever reason, I don't know why, outside of we tend to just prop up and put people on pedestals who are on TV or play a sport or fucking get elected to a goddamn fucking office. We act like they're our betters. They're not. They're exactly the same as us, okay? When they die, they will rot and become nothing. Worm food. Same as you and I. Stop treating these fucking people like they have anything intelligent to say when they've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they don't. They have no insight. They are completely self-unaware. They are completely in their own bubble. Yeah, great. You can put a ball through a hoop. You can skate really fast and fucking thread a needle through a 5-hole on a goalie. It doesn't mean that you fucking are a Mensa member. In fact, in my experience, probably more likely you go in the opposite direction. You're a little bit more like, around room temperature IQ. Okay? So let's just fucking stop the bullshit, man.
Sporgy. christophermedianetp.8266.
Sports have a way of bringing us all together. And at Sleeper, we developed a fantasy platform designed to make leagues more fun and personal. Sleeper includes an integrated chat and every feature you could want for your NFL, NBA, and even esport leagues. Plus, it's completely free with no ads. See why millions have made Sleeper the fastest growing fantasy platform. Download Sleeper on the App Store or Google Play today.
Are you interested in immersing yourself in a foreign culture? Have you imagined learning a new language? If so, the U.S. Department of State is looking for people like you to fill roles in healthcare, construction engineering, information technology, foreign policy, and dozens of other fields. Expand your perspective and experience a unique diplomatic career as you represent American foreign policy abroad. Visit careers.state.gov. Equal opportunity employer. U.S. citizenship required.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Are you interested in immersing yourself in a foreign culture? Have you imagined learning a new language? If so, the U.S. Department of State is looking for people like you to fill roles in healthcare, construction engineering, information technology, foreign policy, and dozens of other fields. Expand your perspective and experience a unique diplomatic career as you represent American foreign policy abroad. Visit careers.state.gov. Equal opportunity employer. U.S. citizenship required.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My dad used to say that.
Sure, yeah. It's from Geico.
Yeah, whenever I would ask my dad for life advice, he'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use.
Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent?
Nah, he was just a real good dad.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
christophermedianetp.8266 Sporty.
Didn't Charles Barkley say that? Once again, thank God for fucking Charles Barkley and the old guys that are still around. They don't give a fuck because he just... Charles Barkley, or Charles, is Chris, not Chris Rock, as Dave Chappelle said, and Charles Barkley repeated, I'm cancel proof. You can't cancel someone who doesn't give a fuck that you cancel them. And if their fan base don't give a fuck, you really got nothing to work with. But he come out and said, we're not role models. We are athletes. We are fucked up human beings. Why are you fucking acting like we need to be like the moral guidepost for your children? We're not. Period. God damn it. My favorite fucking athlete of all time is Bob Probert. I wouldn't have let him watch my kid. Okay? I'd have come back and my kid could be
of a lot of people.
I'd have come back and my kid be missing her 2 front teeth and have fucking coke residue around her goddamn nostrils, okay? No, I'm good.
I will say, though, as I've gotten older, though, I've kind of, like, softened my stance, because I used to be just like that. Yeah, man, right with Barkley. But there's this other thing that you kind of have to think about. Like, there are a bunch of kids watching you. I mean, like, when did you get into sports? When you were a kid. When I get into sports. When I was a kid. I mean, there is a certain responsibility that starts coming with it. Now, should you take the place of mom and dad? Absolutely fucking not. But I do think that when you get to a certain level, like if you're on, like, you get to LeBron's, goddamn, holy shit, I'm about to defend LeBron a little bit. You get to his level, there is a little bit of responsibility that comes with that, with when kids are watching you. Well, I think you never heard about, for all the shit, I think we said this before, for all the shit we give LeBron, he keeps his shit together or his shit quiet off the court. Probably a combination of both. He appears to be a model citizen.
I truly think LeBron is just not, he's at the fear of ripping, at the fear of ripping the scab off and diving once again into this cesspool of an infection, he's not a killer. He doesn't have that killer instinct. And that probably means he's happy to go home and fuck the same woman and get a little piece of ass on the side when he's in a strange city sometimes. He doesn't have rotating fucking harems like, well, I mean, we talked about one of them, came back to bite him in the ass. Look at you, Kobe, or what's left of you. All right? Ooh. I mean, dude, it is what it is, man. But here's the thing. He wants to be a role model. That's why he speaks up and says shit like all black men are being hunted down in the streets of America, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. If you look at the number of black people who were unarmed and shot, it is proportionate to the same number per capita for white people or any other damn race.
Oh, there you go, white-splaining again, Rich.
Well, then take it up with the FBI. Don't shoot the messenger. Take it up with the people who fucking collect. You know, the FBI who said the biggest threat to this country is a bunch of 450-pound fucking diabetics LARPing as fucking recon Marines in the woods in the UP in the middle of the fucking winter. You know, they're one gummy bear from their foot falling off. But, you know, hey, those are the biggest people we got to fear. That FBI, you can listen to them then. Why can't you listen to them now? Because we love living lies. We love living lies. We love it, dude.
I can't take it anymore. Rich, could you imagine Mike Tyson babysitting your daughter?
No.
I'm just trying to think of Mike Tyson trying to baby.
Mike Tyson now, like the silly goofy, the silly goofy high all the time. Mike Tyson, maybe.
No,
dude, Mike Tyson wouldn't fucking babysit.
Why don't kill you, motherfucker, Mike Tyson?
No, back in the day, Tyson wouldn't have babysit anybody's baby. He'd have just thrown it out a window. I was like, get that fucking thing out of my way. I can't fuck it, snort it, or drink it. I don't want it. It's no good to me.
I wouldn't let. I'm gonna eat his children. Mike Tyson watch my kids. No.
I'm going to fuck you.
But he wouldn't watch your kids. If you're like, Mike, would you watch my kid? He'd probably kick it across the room and be like, there, I did my job. Fuck off.
I watched it fly across the room.
Yeah, no. Angry prison Mike? No deal. Like I said, old weed smoking Mike? Maybe.
But, once again, LeBron wants to be taken serious, yet he comes out and says he's not going to comment whether he's going to get the vaccine. That's a no. But can we just, if you haven't heard the story, he said, I'm not going to comment on whether I'm going to get the vaccine. As we all know, that's a no. Ask a 5-year-old, did you do something wrong? And if they sit there and stare at you, you can almost hear the rusty fucking not well-oiled machinery in their fucking little tiny heads coming up with a bullshit excuse to give you, and you just go, that's a no. Save your breath with the lie. Period. That's what LeBron did. And you know what? No one's calling him out. Why not? Because if it had been fucking Roger Clemens, Kurt Schilling, guaranteed they got called out. If it had been someone else who does not give a fuck and speaks truth to people, like Barkley, Ditka, no one would have gave a fuck. They might try with Barkley. Then Barkley would be like, oh, please, cancel these nuts, motherfucker. And that'd have been the end of it. Barkley don't give a fuck. He don't care.
Well, because if he does get it, LeBron's black, and most black people aren't getting the vaccine. So now he's out with the black people. And if he doesn't get it, then he's an athlete, not a role model.
You just said that. Now, you just said that, and that's, I'm sure, there's half a fucking world, half a planet that would call you racist for what you just said. Yet, isn't that essentially what, I mean, have you went on YouTube? Do you have a YouTube login? Log into YouTube and look at the targeted ads and videos, because they're mostly towards the black community saying, it's safe to take this vaccine. Fauci was on every goddamn fucking black person's podcast who would have him on, man. I'm not exaggerating. I can literally scroll like through 7-8 pages of 10-15 minute segments he did with podcasts or news, these boutique news agencies or online news agencies say, no, it's safe for people of color. Blah, blah, blah. A black woman helped come up with she wouldn't do that to her own people. Blah, 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 blah. If you have to work this hard to get that large of a segment of our population to do something, we got bigger problems than a fucking virus, folks.
I mean, I believe the absolute first person in the United States to get it was a black woman. They put it on TV. I watched it.
And you don't think... people think, I don't know how people think this. Nothing you see on TV, unless it's live TV, is by accident or chance. Every single fucking thing, especially when it's for optics, especially when they're fucking trying to virtue signal. There's a reason it was a black woman that was the first one vaccinated on TV.
Absolutely.
I got that, but can you guys explain something? Because you're into the radio and all this advertising and shit. I know you guys don't have, I don't know, Chris, if you do, but Rich, I know you don't have like cable. Do you guys ever see any commercials on any TV anywhere?
For what?
Anything.
Yeah, because I still have cable. Because I'm old.
Why does every commercial now have a black person, a white person, and an Asian person, or an Asian kid? And it's like, okay, he's black, she's white. What the fuck is that?
You've been paying attention in the last hour and a half? That's why.
As Bill Burr says, oh shit, what did he call it? Oh fuck. He was talking about these it was a couple of years ago, there was a commercial, and there was like an interracial couple that had an interracial daughter, and it was like a Cheerios commercial or something. And he goes, everyone's upset about this commercial. I don't understand. That makes sense. I know plenty of white women who ended up married to a black guy and had a biracial child. I got a black wife. He goes, but then I see these like McDonald's ads where there's a group of like 40-somethings hanging out, and it's a racial makeup of a group that I've never seen hang out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way that the former gun-toting gangster wannabe is hanging out with I used to ride in the rodeo yeehaw good old boy who's hanging out with I'm in a kimono Asian dude and, you know, a vaguely ethnic Latino person, Latinx person over here, you know, and all this bullshit. He's like, that's not real. That's not real. And we all know it. And we just, oh yeah.
I say this to my wife all the time when we're watching TV, where are all these black chicks and the white dudes? And where were they when I was dating? But I mean, it's like, well, no, it's just maybe just as the area we grew up in, much more common white chick, black dude.
Oh, well, Chris Rock said it best. He goes, you know how come you don't see a lot of black chicks with white guys? Most black chicks don't find white guys attractive. Now, as a black man saying that, who is an expert on black people, I'm assuming, because that's what I've been told. You know, your lived experience makes you an expert on whatever the fuck your lived experience is if you fall into certain proper categories and check certain check boxes off. And he happens to, so I have to take his word for it. I've known 2 friends that were in serious relationships with black women that were white. I can't even keep count of how many white women I know that I'm friends with that have been in relationships with black guys or are married to black guys or have kids with black guys. And
okay, case in point.
None of us give a fuck.
Yeah,
there's a commercial for Humira. It's Humira. Okay, it's a drug. It's in their commercial is a band that plays. It's got a white lead singer that's a woman.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
It's got an Asian bassist, a white woman guitar player, and a black drummer.
Hey,
fuck?
They're from New York. That could happen in New York City.
No, sir. Yeah. You don't. I'm not getting into the Riot Girl thing because I will fucking stroke out. But this is nothing new, Earl. You live. If you dip past the top 40, you're Magellan. You know what I'm saying? Because you live in just the suck. Welcome to the suck is your music taste. You don't know about real music. You don't know the bullshit that happens with these fucking little. And I'm glad you don't, because Jesus Christ, I couldn't listen to it. You fucking go off about it because you're just gonna repeat everything I said. But there's these little pockets, these little scenes where they fucking. You know, if you're a guy, you go to the back, and all the women come up front. Why we rock out, women power, and all this. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. I bet my money's as green as everybody else's, bitch. If my fucking girl or my wife wants to sit up front, and she's worried about getting fucking, you know, rustled around, then I'm gonna stand up front and make sure she don't get fucking hit. And if you got a problem with it, then get your fucking ass off the stage with your 95-pound, 5'2", thinking you a golden rock god ass, and do something to my 5'9", 320-pound self. Because I want to see it. Period. Like, dude, this is nothing new, dude. Like, this is the bullshit that we would just go. Case in point, Chris, the makeup of Smashing Pumpkins. 2 white guys, white girl, Asian guy.
Yep.
Was that a big deal when Smashing Pumpkins come out? Did anybody make a big deal about a female bass player and an Asian guitar player?
Gave no shits, cared about the music in my ears.
Now I'm being told when I meet somebody, especially younger, and they start telling me about a band, I'm like, oh yeah, what do they sound like? Well, you know, they got a non-binary person on keyboard. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with what they sound like? What the fuck does that have to do with anything that I just asked? I care.
Guy, he was wearing a heavy metal shirt up at the gas station here, and I was asking him if he knew about Metallica. He was like, duh. And we started talking back and forth, and it got turned. And I was like, well, yeah, Metallica is, you know, the band's half black, half white. What the fuck? And he's like, what? Metallica isn't half black.
Yeah, no, like, not. Kirk Hammett's Filipino.
Okay.
And then isn't Trujillo Spanish or
Trujillo Spanish? Yeah,
Latinx or whatever. Yeah, man. Is Lars black? And I don't know about this.
No, he's Danish.
No, I know.
I thought the guitarist and the bassist were black.
No, you know what? No, bassist, I can tell you for a fact. No, Hammett. I thought Hammett had the same racial makeup as like Lenny Kravitz and Slash. That he was like, like his mom was white and.
No, he's Filipino.
Is he Filipino? Okay, I see. I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was like that Tom Morello. Like, you know, mom was white, dad was like
now, you could technically. because of the environment we live in now, you could say half of Metallica are considered people of color. POCs.
My bad.
Because isn't part of Filipino?
This guy, I'll let him know.
Because isn't Filipino technically Spanish and Asian?
Yeah. Some French thrown in from the early Nam War and the fallout of the occupation of that area, if I remember correctly.
What's the other guitarist of Metallica then?
There's James Hetfield,
who's the white guy.
Not
who
him.
looks like the Cowardly Lion. He is about as white as you can get.
I know Lars, but they're guitarists.
Okay, Kurt Hammett looks like he's got blackened curly fries on his head.
Him.
And yeah, I thought he was like I don't know, half white, quarter Puerto Rican, quarter black, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought he was, like I said, a / Lenny Kravitz type makeup. I didn't realize he was Filipino, but that makes sense because they're
so
complexion
the basis then.
People from an area. He's a Mexican guy. The guy from Suicidal Tendencies. Yes, he's
with
Mexican.
the big, long, huge ponytails.
Yes. Looks like he's been fucking drinking steroids since he was in utero. Yes,
that's him. Yes.
Yeah.
He's Mexican.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like, this guy had to be looking at you going, this dumb fuck just asked me.
Right?
I know who Metallica is. And then said Metallica's black. I figured, do you know who Metallica is?
Apparently not.
See, this is what I'm saying. He sees a dude with a vaguely metal shirt, and he walks up. Hey, you know who Metallica is? He didn't walk up and be like, hey, you ever heard of the Mars Volta?
No, that's not
how about heard of them? No? Okay, yeah. Anal Cunt? Might want to check them out. How about Godflesh? No. Hey, you walk up to a metalhead and go, hey, have you heard about Metallica? It's like walking up to me and going, you ever heard of this guitar player named Stevie Ray Vaughan?
Yeah, I heard
a little bit.
Judas Priest was a bunch of Puerto Ricans, Earl.
Funny. Real funny.
You're worth your weight in gold sometimes on this show, man, because you just admit shit, and I'm like, you realize it's going out, right? Like, you just admitted that.
Okay, you look at them, I just thought they were black.
Dude, I was 12 when the Black Album came out. You said Metallica was half black. I was like, wait a minute. Like, I am 40 and white. I know a lot about Metallica. No, them being half black, not something I've heard of before.
No, and I've heard a lot about Metallica.
How about that? There we go. Half of them aren't white.
Yes, that's what Chris said. Half of them are, you could say, are people of color, as we say in our...
Well, I don't care if the people of color are fucking Asian. Half of them are not white. There you go.
All right, so oh God, dare I drag us down this rabbit hole that you started digging? So what was the original point with them being, you thinking they were half black?
Who, Metallica?
Yes.
Because we were talking about how kids today they either love rap music or they love different styles of music, and how certain people don't sound, the music doesn't agree what they look like.
Full disclosure, I had to get up and use the bathroom. That must have been when I was using the bathrooms. I do not remember having that conversation. So, okay. Now, I just needed context. I'm like, how did we get on the subject of Metallica? All of a sudden, Metallica's Earth, Wind, and Fire. How'd this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, the only thing black about Metallica is the song Blackened, Fade to Black, and their album, The Black Album. That's it. Well, all right. So here's maybe you guys can fill me in. I've heard rumblings in the NBA-sphere, or I don't ever drop a toe. Is Blake Griffin gone?
Yep.
From the Pistons?
Yes.
For what?
To the Mets. He got traded.
For what?
Bag of balls.
Yeah, what he's worth. Like, my initial reaction was like, okay, Nets, he's your problem now. He can hang out on your IR.
Pretty much. Him and Kyrie could sit and throw a party.
Well, the reason I ask is because
he can come too.
Jalen Rose still on the Pistons?
Hell no. Jalen Rose is like 40.
No, I think he's in Chicago.
He's still playing? There's no way he's still playing. If Juwan Howard is coaching Michigan, how the fuck is Jalen...
Not Jalen Rose, fucking...
Derrick Rose.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Thank you.
No, yeah,
I knew who he was talking about.
Yeah, didn't he? He used to play for Chicago. He came here, signed, and the big thing was, well, we signed him so we could trade him.
Oh, he went to the Knicks.
Talking about Rose.
Yeah.
Okay. If they didn't get a fucking king's ransom for Rose, they said that's why they signed or they traded for Griffin when they did. Because, well, we can always trade him later and get a king's ransom for him. So you signed a free agent who Chicago was like, don't want, done, right? And then you fucking traded for a guy.
The exact same thing with the LA Clippers.
And you got nothing from both.
We need a new
Correct.
GM.
What the fuck was all those moves in the offseason for?
The experts were right. Remember when you were the one actually going, hey, I like the moves the Pistons are making, and all the experts are like, what are they, high? And it turns out the experts were right. Because, dude, don't the Pistons have one of the worst records in the league? Last time I looked, I think it was last week, they'd only won 9 games.
Yep.
But it's not just about that. I still like them getting draft capital, but if you're not going to do shit with it, I mean, you can lead a horse to water. It's like you said about the moves the Lions made. The fuck are they doing in the offseason? Nothing. Now, I mean, they flat out came out and said, they didn't throw the franchise tag on Galladay. So they're throwing the towel in and saying this is a 100% top-down rebuild.
Well,
yep.
Slow down. It's been free agency for a month, man. Like, I'll say it. Said in the chat. I'll say it here. If you think you're just going to replace everything with draft picks, that's an SOL move. Sorry.
Well, I thought the point was you get draft picks so you can make moves to move in the draft to get people you want who your draft position without the draft capital you couldn't, or use the draft capital to get players who are active players on your team that you want.
I mean, as of right
I'm
now,
not seeing either of that.
Jared Goff has nobody to throw to. Galladay's going to leave. Marvin Jones is gone. Well, great. We got this great new quarterback who's going to save us once again. Who's he throwing to? As of right now, nobody. The practice squad.
Well, he ain't throwing the Godwin
And the tight end.
That was hilarious. I know you don't listen to local sports talk much, Chris, but 97.1 was pumping that up. Maybe we can get Godwin from Tampa Bay. And I'm like, no, Tampa's probably going to throw the franchise tag on that motherfucker. And they did. Mm-hmm. So who do you got? What's the point of even keeping the quarterback you traded for? Please explain to me what's the point of Goff.
Right.
If you're in a rebuild, trade him away for whatever you can get for him.
I said it when he got there. I think he's a stopgap. But he's a lot less money for a stopgap than Matthew Stafford was.
No, they're somewhat comparable, dude. As long as they don't pick up any options, they can get out with less of a cap hit than they could have a cap with Stafford. But they're making pretty much the same money. I mean, Goff got paid, dude. He took him to a fucking Super Bowl. Didn't do shit, but took him to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it. Here's my thing. So what is the point if it's a rebuild? And let's say Goff gets in next season and plays out of his fucking mind and turns nobodies into fucking Pro Bowlers. You've just set back your rebuild once again. How many years? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? I'm not saying tank.
The only thing I'm saying is it's different. Right now, it's different. Is it going to go back to the same old Lions? I don't know. But right now, different's good. I'm living with different.
What's different?
I got hope.
What's different? They ain't done shit in a month. Free agency started a month ago. What's different? This is exactly what they did last year. Nothing.
Let's just see where it goes. They're
exactly
not
what they
jumping.
Did 2 years ago.
They're not holding.
Nothing.
Hold on a second. No, it's not. No. They're not. They made a huge move. They did get draft picks. They got a hell of a trade for Matt. They made a decision on their receivers.
All the good free agents are gone before the draft.
Defense.
Come on now. You know this.
Well,
anyone worth a shit signing in free agency is gone
Chris,
before
all
you.
I'm saying is let's wait and see.
Oh my God!
Once we hit the draft,
been waiting since 1957. How the fuck longer do we have to wait?
Here's my question, Chris. Go ahead, Earl. Go ahead.
If they wait to the draft and haven't made any moves at all, and the draft starts, then I'm going to start to get worried that it's the same old Lions.
March is half over on Monday.
I understand, but just because somebody's signed today doesn't mean they can't be traded tomorrow, or the same day for that matter.
Okay, but here, stop. Hold on. What the fuck are they, who are they? Who do you want them to pick up in free agency if they're trying to rebuild? They're trying to rebuild. They're looking. We will be contenders in 3 to 5 years. That's a rebuild. That's a optimal rebuild in the NFL. Year one of that rebuild. Who the fuck are you signing in free agency unless it's to fill holes? And at that point, you just want a warm body who's affordable. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are they supposed to do? I don't understand. Like, I get that people are like, well, they got all these draft picks. They made these trades. Well, the draft ain't here yet. Now, if the draft comes and goes, they trade away all their draft picks, and they draft like the Lions always draft, I'm right here. I'll be right here with you going, yeah, y'all fucked that up.
SOL like a motherfucker.
Yep. But as of right now, yeah, I've seen a few things that if I was a Lions fan, I've pissed all over the candle of hope if I was a Lions fan. I mean, that motherfucker's piss logged like a son of a bitch. But I'd be like, okay, well, let me see what you do.
That's right, I forgot. They signed Tyrell Williams. Ooh!
Well, I mean, the thing is, if they're in a rebuild and they want the best draft picks they can get at the beginning of a rebuild, which is, I'm assuming, what you want, because you build through the draft. In theory, this is how you build a winning team in the NFL. Through the draft, develop your draft picks. Then, when the time's right, you make a couple key free agent signings, you move on. I mean, it kind of worked for Tampa. Granted, they got the best to ever do it. They said, I want to come down and play for them. But, I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't for fucking Tom Brady, Philip Rivers might have ended up in Tampa this last season. I mean, I could see it because Tampa was like, we got the weapons. We just need something else. Please, anybody. Crap and cab legs ain't cutting it, and we ain't trading for Mariota.
I mean, looking through the list of free agent wide receivers this year, I mean, Juju's a free agent. Antonio Brown's a free agent.
And Juju's already fucking basically said he's done in Pittsburgh. So.
T.Y. Hilton is a free agent.
T.Y. Hilton's old.
You see him this season, though?
I did. I had him on fantasy.
Corey Davis is a free agent. He finally became what he was supposed to be this season. Will Fuller's a free agent.
Will Fuller's a second wide receiver, though. He's not a first.
I agree with you there.
I think it's pretty sad, and this is something I haven't heard brought up, except for whoever made the meme and then me sending it to you guys, is that Galladay and Megatron pretty much have almost the exact same stats, the exact same amount of games played.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the Lions would have never thought of fucking letting it get to this point with Megatron. Now, I think, Chris, you nailed it because, well, why aren't we hearing about Galladay? Galladay didn't come into the fucking league with as much hype as Megatron had. Like, I'm not joking. I had a subscription to Sports Illustrated. I remember reading a fucking 4-page article with a 2-page layout of him with his fucking, in his high school uniform, with his gloves up, looking like he was, going to catch a ball in Sports Illustrated. I think he had committed to Georgia Tech at that point.
I mean, I still was listening to sports talk radio at the time. Oh, man. It was like, we drafted Calvin Johnson. It was like, oh my God, you could hear everybody coming.
Well, Mike Martz was your fucking OC when they drafted Megatron. I clearly remember they had Channel 2, the guys who call the Lions game, Dan Leach or not Dan Leach.
Dan Miller?
Dan Miller and Jim Brandstetter at that point, I believe. They immediately, once they drafted him, they had those two call in, Mike Martz, and he's like, this is what I said when I woke up when I walked into Allen Park this morning. We're getting Megatron, right? Because that's all I've game planned for.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember the stupid look on his face. I actually remember seeing that. Like he was acting like Super Bowl was a done deal that season.
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
the only besides the build-up, the big difference between the two players is Megatron isn't as injury prone as Galladay.
This year, I'm just wondering if he had that I don't want to play for Matt Patricia-itis.
Yeah, I get the feeling that he had
There's a lot of chatter about that.
He had a version of the brown bottle flu.
Oh, it's crazy. I'm a back.
Yeah.
I can't play. Like, didn't he play a majority of his 4 games not for Matt Patricia?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, he's played 46 games as a Lion. He played how many last season?
4.
And how many the previous 2 seasons?
Stand by.
Wait a minute. How many of those 4 did he play for Matt Patricia this last season?
Let me get up my Pro Football Reference.
He didn't play once Patricia was fired. He played at the beginning of the season, then he injured himself, right?
Yeah.
Well, look, if they'd have franchise tagged him, I mean, I know that guys hate the franchise tag, but if they'd have franchise tagged him, I think he'd been making somewhere close to 18.5, 19 million this year with the franchise tag.
Yep. Yeah, that's about the first year of the franchise tag, yeah.
So, I mean, that's not bad money for a fucking wide receiver buried in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he comes out, I'm sure, I don't know who would be a good landing spot for him, but, I mean, how often do fucking number 1 or number 2 wide receivers hit the free agent market in their prime?
Okay, but see, here's the thing. For me, Galladay doesn't resemble as much Megatron as he did Roy Williams.
His stats represent Megatron.
Yeah, I'm just going purely on how many games he's played. Yeah, he actually has more yards. He has more yards and 1 less receiving touchdown. So, I mean,
in his career, the way it is, I'm going to go with Roy. Yeah, go somewhere else and get paid, sir. Good luck to you. But I think it's going to, like when Roy Williams went to Dallas and just phased out, that's going to be Galladay.
For the record,
I think
he played 15 and 16 games in 2018 and 2019. He played 11 2017 and he played 5 last season.
So he played the majority of his games under Patricia.
When Matty P take over 2018? Yeah. So yeah, he played all but 16. He played 16 of his 47 games, or he played 31 of his 47 games for Matt Patricia. Or wait, no, 31 plus 5. Oh my God.
36.
Yeah, 36. Sorry, I'm hitting the vaporizer while we do this.
No. I'm just. That's what I'm saying. Look, man. Here's the deal. If you're a Lions fan, you do what you do. You do what you do if you're stuck around the hottest hookers you ever seen in your life and you don't have a rubber. You just cross yourself and go, please, God, don't let this pussy kill me. Please, God, don't let the Lions fuck up. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. There's no reason to have any confidence that anything coming from the Ford family is going to be a right decision with this franchise. But the noises and the stories I'm hearing and the scuttlebutt and the rumors and I'm not hearing back channel grumbling coming out of Allen Park, which is where the Lions practice facility is here in the Metro Detroit area, tells me that somebody's at least making decisions to keep people sated for the time being. Because we all know, even if you're not a Lions fan, you grew up in this area, if there's a problem in one of these sports teams, it ain't but a week or 2 before it hits the papers. And it's just how it is here in Detroit. Like we knew all about who was fucking Prince Fielder's wife before he probably did. I mean, it was like we know all about Miggy's fucking outside child down and baby mama who's getting, $4 million whatever it is a fucking month from him in child support. Like that's just how it is up here, man. Our sports encompasses the tabloid and the statistics part. And I haven't heard shit that they're doing fucked up shit, that people are pissed off, that people are rolling their eyes. I mean, like I said, man, dude, they brought Chris Spielman in, and then immediately Sheila Ford was like, I want to make you a GM. And he's like, no, I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm not ready for that job. and I just let you down and myself. You need to find somebody else. People can say what they want. That's a sign of a good leader who surrounds themselves with people who won't let ego drive them to a decision that will be destructive for everyone around them. That takes a quality. That's a skill set to recognize a person that's that self-aware and honest. And I think that's what you can pin your hopes on if you're a Lions fan.
My hopes right now is different. Everything you just said is different. They've said a whole bunch of shit before. We're going to give you a team you could be proud of. We're going to get a team who's going to win. We're going to yada, 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 yada. And then went and did the same shit. Right now, they've said a couple of things, not a whole lot, but they've said a few things, and then they're doing different things. That's the only thing that gives me hope.
I have to take issue with that. They've done one different thing. You keep saying they've done different things.
They've let go of favorite people in Detroit. They didn't bend and go, oh, Kenny Galladay. Oh, everybody loves him. He's going to be a good receiver. Let's throw the money at him. Let's throw the whole cap away on one player.
While we are all gloom and doom here, he ain't gone yet. They just didn't tag him.
Man, come on.
I know he's leaving, but I mean, it's Earl. You're saying things. They've done one thing. They've done the Stafford trade.
No, dude. I got the transaction. Sorry, I have the transaction page on my phone.
I was going to say, oh, you got transitions? Welcome to old age.
Stop that. My wife just bought transitions.
Hey, man. I get made fun of, but you know what? I ain't got to carry around two sets of glasses. I ain't got to carry around two sets.
But you love them motherfuckers.
Hey, the bass player in my old band's had him for like 25 years. He was on that shit in his 20s. He didn't give a fuck. And he's the same thing you're saying, Rich. He's like, I have one pair of glasses, not two.
Yep. And yeah.
And it's simply because he's blind.
When I had
since February,
I had transitions.
Since February, the Lions have signed a tight end, Mac, a defensive end, Joel Heath. They tendered exclusive rights to a fullback, Jack Fox, which is a punter, and a tackle, Matt Nelson. Nice tackle, very good tackle. They re-signed Mike Ford, the defensive back. They have released Russell Bodine and linebacker Christian Jones. Christian Jones was a hell of a backer. They're going to need to replace him, but they decided to release him and not bend and throw some money at him. They have also, as you just said, signed Terrell Williams. So it's not just the Matt Stafford blockbuster trade. That's the blockbuster move they've done, and it's only one. But they have made some moves and done some things.
If you think a career third receiver, a career number 3 receiver is moving in the right direction?
Making moves. They're making moves. That is completely different than Detroit does. Detroit does not make moves.
Signing a career third receiver seems pretty SOL to me.
It's like, no, dude, they've always been the runt at the bowl. They've always sat back and let everybody pick apart what they wanted to eat, and then when everybody else was done, they go in and pick what's left. They're making moves now. And Matt Stafford was a blockbuster trade. Huge trade. Great trade for Detroit. That is shit you haven't heard in the past years. It's just different. And right now, different for me is good. Because I can't say same old Lions. SOL. I can't say that. Because they're different right now. Now, are they going to be different enough to make any impact on this season? We have to wait and see. They have the draft capital. They have the cap room. They seem to have the mindset. I want to see where it lands.
So much for Don, huh?
You know what it sounds like to me? I swear to God, I'm not trying to just say fuck it and cut through the Gordian knot and call it a fucking day with you two. But it seems like you like the moves they made, Earl. Obviously. You're unimpressed, Chris. You're not going to agree. The moves are what they are. Whether he agrees with you or you agree with him, that doesn't change the fact the moves have been made. You like him. He's like, this is a bunch of horse shit. How is this any different? We're shuffling. And I understand, Chris, believe me, as a Tampa Bay fan, for the better part of 2 decades, I was like, can we stop moving furniture on the deck of the Titanic? Like, seriously? Like, can we get a fucking lifeboat ready? Don't you see the fucking iceberg coming? The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get you. But it really just sounds like you just disagree about the moves. And if that's the case, here's the beauty of sports. I don't know which one of you's right, if either, until they play the fucking game.
We'll see in October.
I mean, I will
here's
say,
the thing. I don't necessarily like what the moves were that were made. I like that moves, period, were made. Period. Because that's different. They didn't used to make any moves. They used to sit and wait.
when's the last time Detroit moved a bona fide number one starting quarterback out of town and received a number one starting quarterback in return?
Never.
No, I'm serious. Hold on, no.
Whatever Scott Mitchell came here.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, Scott Mitchell would have to be the last one, right?
That was Rodney Pete. See ya, Scott Mitchell. Welcome.
And you think those two were bona fide number ones?
At the time, they were.
Scott Mitchell? Wait a minute. Did he come from the Bears?
He came from the Dolphins.
But he went to the Bears and, led them to playoffs. And didn't the Lions go to play and win a playoff game under Scott Mitchell?
They did.
The last one they won.
Yeah. I'd say he's an upgrade from Rodney Pete. But my point is that...
But remember, Rodney Pete actually
we're talking
went
almost 30 years ago.
Rodney Pete went and made Philly a competitor.
Did.
Unfortunately, I can, all's forgiven now, much like in Boston. No, Rodney Pete made him a competitor, but didn't do shit, according to anyone in Philly. Believe me. I can put you on the phone with someone who would be more than happy to sit there and talk your ear off. But Rodney Pete ain't shit.
I know he ain't shit. I said he made them more. He made them competitive.
I know, I got you. But he'd have been like, man, one time we were competitive was 2004. And the year we won the Super Bowl.
No, trust me, Philly, it's the chasm between the Broad Street Bullies and Andy Reid. I understand.
Yeah. And boy, do they hate the Red Wings for the fucking 97 Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a pretty polite series. We just whooped your ass and we did it with class. We didn't fucking even beat the shit out of you on the way out the door like we should have. Mm-hmm. Like we could have.
Sporty. christophermedianetp.8266.
Gym sessions and sweaty summer activities are back, which means more funky smells in your clothes because sweat leaves behind bacteria that causes those hard-to-remove odors. Clorox fabric sanitizer products are ready to zap the stink out of fabrics in your home by getting rid of 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria. Eliminate odors in every load or sanitize fabrics between washes with one of our fabric sanitizer products. Search fabric sanitizer at Clorox.com to learn more. When it counts, trust Clorox. Use as directed.
Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores. Sports have a way of bringing us all together. And at Sleeper, we developed a fantasy platform designed to make leagues more fun and personal. Sleeper includes an integrated chat and every feature you could want for your NFL, NBA, and even esport leagues. Plus, it's completely free with no ads. See why millions have made Sleeper the fastest growing fantasy platform. Download Sleeper on the App Store or Google Play today. Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores. Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores.
christophermedianetp.8266 Sporty.
Which, by the way, okay, sorry guys, we're coming up on roughly 2.5 hours here, but Joey Kosher just told a story I've never heard before. And if his instinct is true, this makes me love Bob Probert even more so. Okay, so Bob Probert, Joey Kosher, Bruce brothers, both were on the Red Wings in the 80s. If you don't know, now you know, don't have to ask nobody. All right, gotcha. So, early 90s, they traded Kosher away. Okay, Kosher ended up playing in a beer league in the mid-90s. Well, Bob Probert had his drug issues, and eventually the Red Wings decided not to bring him back. He signed a 4-year contract with the Blackhawks, did his time in rehab and served a suspension, came back and played the rest of his career for the Blackhawks. Blackhawks were in town to play the Red Wings in December of 95. By the way, Earl, we watched this game at your uncle's house. It was the last game before Christmas, the year you guys bought me my Blackhawks Probert jersey. Right. It was that last game for it. I remember this game because we watched it. Before the game, Kosher went up to Probert and said, you know, hey, man, I just came to see you. You're in town, blah, 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 this and that. He's like, yeah. You know, good to see you, blah, blah, blah. How you doing? He's like, sucks, man. I'm playing in a fucking beer league. Like, I need you to go out here and kick the shit out these Red Wings and let them know that they need to fucking call me up, put me on the fucking team. And he's like, well, 44 penalty minutes and 2 fucking points later, the game was over, and Probert had fucking ran roughshod over that team. The next day, Scotty Bowman called fucking Joe Kosher, said, you're going to spend a couple weeks in the minors getting fucking back up to the game speed, then we're going to call you up. Boom. That's a fucking friend, dude. Damn. That's a fucking friend. I mean, and he's like, to this day, I don't know if it's because I said it or because he was just, that was the mood he was in. But he went out there and beat the shit out of Shanahan. Did. Completely fucking, I think he put Jamie Pusher, like, he did his best to put him in, like, the 10th row. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just. I got to let y'all people know, though, watching that game, and especially with Bob Probert and everything, I didn't need Mickey Red. I could have muted the fucking game, okay? Because I had Rich sitting next to me. I knew where Bob Probert was at every fucking turn. Whenever Bob looked at somebody the wrong way, I didn't know, but Rich did, and here we go. And I'm like, what? And next thing you know, there goes the gloves, the stick, helmets flying. I'm like, how the fuck? I'm watching the game with Miss Cleo. It's because, dude, I'll do respect. That's the role I played when I played hockey. Not very well, but it's just like when I'm listening to a guitar solo, I'm like, it's about to get fucking interesting. I can just tell by the way he's building it up. Once you know, you know. Chris, you know what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Once you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you can see it developing before it happens. And that's what I was doing. But what was funny was that was the game near, because I think ultimately Detroit did win the game. But I mean, like, I think he did take Pusher out the game. And I think Shanahan missed a couple shifts after his fight with him. But anyways, I just remember because at the end of the game, he skates up and he totally fucking just gives goddamn fucking Osgood an ice shower all in his fucking face in that 1973 fucking helmet he always wore. And we and you just start dying. We were like, oh, there's a cherry on top. Probert has been here. You have now played hockey with Bob. But no, fight Probert. Like that, had that shirt, had that coffee mug, had that bumper sticker. He had a tattoo on the back of his head, folks. Trust me. If he ever shaved his head, you would see it. I shave my head probably at least once every other year, And no, I do not have any tattoos because I'm fat. And you know what? You know why? Take silly putty, put it on a newspaper, pull it off, and then stretch it out. Now put it back to normal. That's why fat people shouldn't have tattoos. Sorry, Earl.
Like, fucker. My flags wave high, loud, and proud, goddammit.
Motherfucker, if you had gotten a 1.5 centimeter tramp stamp when you were 15, that motherfucker would be 3 feet across now. Okay, so I don't want to fucking hear it, dude.
Wow.
It'd be a trample stamp.
But
I'm not going to lie. My monster tattoo does look like lightning bolts. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, my God. Why? Do you get a check from Monster? Do you get a monthly check?
Oh, Chris, boy, you just... I give it to you.
My wife has relatives. My wife has relatives that have monster tattoos as well.
When you jump into the shit pile, Chris, you don't swan dive. You go face first into the shit pile. Go ahead, tell them. Tell them why you got the monster tattoo.
I don't know if I should now.
No, you got it for a righteous reason.
My monster tattoo, my wife and I drank Monster.
Oh, God damn
My first wife and I drank Monster every day before we started our shift at the casino.
All right.
And when she found out that she had skin cancer, I went in support of her and got the Monster logo because I'm huge and I was going to be the monster that scared her cancer away.
God damn it. All right. I'm sorry.
So, Chris, I'm handing you a metaphorical towel to wipe that shit off your face.
To be fair, like I said, my wife has relatives that have a monster tattoo as well.
For different reasons.
Yeah, I
guess. And by the way, Earl, you're still on
Yeah.
double secret probation because you're just white. You are whiskey tango enough to get a monster tattoo just for the fuck of it. No wife involved. You're like, bro, I'm just saying, you're a little suspect, and you always have been, okay? As we would say around your gay cousin James, you're under suspicion. Oh, what? And then, I use a word we can't use anymore.
I mean,
And
this
then-
was love, Earl. When I saw the type of car you drive, I was like, that's about right.
That's the truth. Oh my God. Everything about you is just, that's about right.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, dude.
And it's meant with love. And I'm sure you say a bunch of same shit about me.
Well, no, I always hear this. That's what Chris looks like? Oh, he didn't look like anything like his voice sounds. I'm like, none of this, dude. The only reason you're used to my voice is because you see it coming out of my filthy fucking cock sewer. Okay? You are used to that. You've never heard Chris. And then I had told a coworker one time, this is years ago, I was like, so is Chris the gay one? I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. Pump the brakes. Known Chris for like 15 years. Gay never came up. Is something you would like to, he told you? No, the guy is he the one that's gay on the show? And I'm like, there's no gay guy on the show. The guy with the lisp.
Oh,
the guy who talks like that. And I'm like, Aaron? And then when he met May's wife, he goes, hi, I'm Aaron. She goes, yeah, I recognize your voice from the show. And he goes, yeah, I'm the one everyone thinks is gay. That's what I hear about my voice all the time. I was just like, well, you know, motherfucker.
I mean, when I did first meet Aaron, I was, I did think, but
But here's the thing, though.
We'll have this conversation off air.
Well, no, just
my wife
what we're getting at is effeminate men are not all gay. I think that's what we're getting at with this conversation.
But my wife never met either one of you, though. And when she's seen what Chris likes, she's like, oh. Because he looks like this. He sounds like this Rico Suave motherfucker over the radio.
Okay, here comes a backhanded comp. This is definitely
right.
backhanded as hell, and I'm about
Strap
to get.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
And you look at him, and he looks like fucking Ernie from Bert and Ernie. Like, what the fuck?
I thought I was prepared for anybody to come out of your mouth. I was not prepared for that. This is the one that cracked me up. Was a coworker goes, so who's who on the podcast? I'm like, okay, well, Chris is the one who talks first, does the intro and the outro. Oh, okay. And what's Chris look like? I'm like, oh, hold on a sec. There you go. And they're like, oh, you don't look nothing like I thought. And I'm like, well, what did you think you looked like? Oh, like blonde hair, blue-eyed Nazi poster boy. I'm like, bro, he's Lebanese. I've never been to Lebanon. Pretty sure blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah, no.
Nazi poster boy. Pretty rare thing to find in that country. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I don't know.
If you do, they're imported.
Oh, is it safe to call Chris Arab?
Oh, absolutely. I'm 50%. My dad's 100% Lebanese. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but we can't call you an Arab. Got it.
My dad's parents were from the motherland, sir.
No, when they had an open house and I met your parents for the first time, I met your mom before I met your dad. And I remember Amber was standing next to me, and you would introduce me to your mom, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you. You're like, my dad's right here somewhere. I can't remember when he was talking to somebody or something. And then you called him over. Amber was standing next to me, and she leans over and she goes, so odds are he looks more like his dad than his mom?
I mean,
I'm like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely not the mailman's kid.
And then your dad come over, and I'm like, oh, I don't even need a blood test.
Yeah.
Even Maury already knows you're the father. Yeah.
Yeah, so, definitely one of those situations.
But still, anyway, real quick, just get back. That story, I think that's fucking awesome. And to me, that's the type of stories we need to hear. Like, if you want to put out puff pieces and shit just to fucking fill quotas because you have to pound out so many fucking characters per story per fucking day, there's plenty of stories like that in sports about the shit with Probert and Kosher. I don't need everything to be fucking so sweet and saccharine that, you know, my piss tastes like birthday cake. But, you know, I fucking... Can we just, like, stop acting like, you know, there's only the righteous POC in the sports world and then the rest of the horrible sports world? It's like nothing's all one thing, folks. We all know this. If you're listening to this podcast, you know this. And you know that's how we feel. So fucking go out and fucking... Don't take it. You wouldn't take a motherfucker waving his dick in your face. Don't let him wave his metaphorical dick in your face. If you know you're righteous, be righteous and just tell them to go fuck themselves. Like, this is horse shit, man. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, you know what fucks me up? I'm now thinking of more stories that we should have talked about, but the shit was so fucking irritating that I couldn't find a goddamn story about Jackson or Dak without somehow this turned into this huge, let's get this, ramp up the race war.
Yeah, no, it's no, because it gets thrown into everything. Like, let me open up Google News right now, go through the sports headlines and see how long it takes social justice to show up. Well, Michigan State lost to Maryland in the Big Ten tournament. Oops.
So I can tell you this, and I don't even really follow college basketball. State wasn't going to the tournament anyways.
Yeah.
So they were pretty much told, nah. So even if you win, you lose. Which is fucked up because March Madness, 64 teams. How many teams are playing? 4. Mm-hmm. So 68 total. There's 4 play-in teams. Okay. Why is it a problem that 5 teams from the Big Ten qualified for the tournament then? If they're the best 5 teams and can be seeded as such, why should it matter that they all come from the same fucking conference? It's not like the football playoffs where you only have 4 fucking teams vying for that top spot. And there's 5 power conferences. Just statistically, a conference is going to be left out every time. Maybe even 2. So I understand being more selective and trying to be like, we want the best from each conference because we want the cream of the crop to play each other. But 64 with 2 play-in games?
Hey, by the way, Google shitting on our point. 12
I was going to say, Google's the bad one to fucking choose.
12 story down, they finally talk about Myers-Leonard. but it's a lot of today, at least it's a lot of March Madness, and it's been a year ago since they pulled the plug on the NBA season. It's a lot of that going on. But no, I hear you.
Wait a minute.
Yahoo.
That means
Yahoo. Yeah, I hear you. Yahoo definitely is trying to outwoke ESPN with a lot of the shit that they write about. I give you that.
Here's the bitch about Yahoo Sports. Yahoo Sports used to be a legit sports reporting service. They broke that late 2000s, early 2010s story about that booster that ended up in prison with the University of Miami. They broke that story. Like, all the investigative reporting that ended up being used in court to throw motherfuckers in prison was from that fucking story. Then clicks became more important than telling the truth, and, well, you end up in the land of, well, an angry click is just as good as a happy one. Yeah. And we get a lot more angry clicks. So it's easier to destroy than it is to build. Same as it ever was. But I will say, excuse me, I will say this, though. If we're going to fill out March Madness, when do we need to have it done by?
When
our brackets?
Well, actually, isn't Selection Sunday this Sunday?
Is it? Motherfucker, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Well, if they're doing all the tournaments.
Dude, last week I got a stomach bug from hell. So I have no idea.
No, if they're doing all the tournaments this week, that means Selection Sunday's got to be Sunday. Because don't they do all that after they play all the tournaments?
Well, I just remember because not ironically, just coincidentally, we did a show apparently a year ago to the day because we were on air when they announced sports are done for the time being.
Yeah, this Sunday, 6 o'clock, Selection Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, we were on the air, and by the end of that episode, the strip went dark in Vegas. We started talking about how the NBA and NHL were hitting pause on their seasons, and the NFL and MLB was up in the air. By the end of that episode, we were talking about, holy shit, the fucking strip just went dark.
Yeah, they just closed Vegas. Oh, yeah, there's been a lot of coronavirus reminiscent talk, because this was our last week of normalcy last year. Mm-hmm. My last day on the radio, at least at the country station, was March 13th. March 14th, we all got an email that said, hey, part-time people, see you. Here's your letters, go file unemployment. My job at the time sent us home Friday, March 13th. There was talk at the time, it's for 10 days, and we're going to go from there.
Oh, yeah. There's a meme I shared, on day 375 of 15 to flatten the curve. Hiding from the Chinese anal swab fucking drone that's tracking me for the last 2 weeks.
Remember that? 15 days to flatten the curve?
A year ago? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden it became more profitable not to have a job? How did that happen?
Don't even get me started. Anyways.
Yeah.
Long story short, maybe, I don't know. It'd probably be the most boring show we'd ever put out. But maybe we need to fucking just have a show. I don't give a fuck what happens. We just fucking, it's going to have to be when all the major sports are playing, but we just don't talk about the social bullshit surrounding sports and just talk sports, because I agree with you, but at the same time, when I go to a sports website or I go to a sports fucking page on Facebook or Twitter or whatever the fuck, and I'm just looking for fucking who won the game, and I got to fucking wade through 20 opinion pieces on how everything is sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, blah, 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 phobic. You want this response. That's why you're shoving this down our throat. You get the response that you're trying to elicit from us, then you get pissed and to call us names for addressing the issues that you've been fist fucking us in the ass with. Fuck you. Period.
In some way, it's their sport. That's their sport, making us react to their shit.
Well, dude, it wasn't that long ago that when we talked about ESPN, it was how woke they are and blah, 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 blah. And then the numbers hit. And they let the first quarter go by. And when they didn't fucking improve in the fucking second quarter, that's when ESPN was like, yeah, we're going to focus on sports again.
Yeah, we're done with being woke. We're awake.
Yeah,
still,
but I wonder now
damn
if
it.
we're now in the environment of they can go back to that and then just say, well, our ratings are low because everyone's racist. That does not sound far-fetched to me now.
No, that is absolute. That is a reason everything fails. Dude, that fucking Charlie's Angels movie, the reboot of Charlie's Angels with the expressionless, somewhat hot chick from fucking Twilight. I can't remember her name.
Kristen Stewart.
Yes, thank you. Her and whoever the fuck else I got to star in that fucking stewed tomato of an abortion. But tanked at the box office. Elizabeth Banks, cool chick, was in Scrubs, 40-year-old virgin, obviously isn't one of the woke flake crowd. She fell right. She directed it, produced it, I guess had a hand in writing it. Hey, your movie failed. Why is that? Sexism.
Yeah, that's what they said
Really?
about the latest Oceans movie where they did the all-female cast.
Yeah, Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
That besides Sandra Bullock, I can't recall who was in it, and I know it had name actresses in it.
The general word of mouth was kind of one of the few movies where the word of mouth kind of went with what the critics said. It was like, this wasn't an Oceans movie. This was a fucking heist movie that they slapped the Oceans name on it and put all female cast. Like, and overall, it was just a shit script. But same thing. Oh, well, it's not succeeding because men can't handle an all-female cast. Really? Maybe the movie just sucked.
Well, that's
one of the our generation.
You know what, though?
Our generation's defining movies, action movies. Okay, Aliens, Ellen Ripley, hero. In fact, the hero of the Aliens story. The original three movies, the original trilogy.
Yep.
Okay. Period. Starts and ends with her. Period. End of story. Terminator 2.
Also a hero in Ghostbusters.
Okay, but Terminator 2. Strong, independent, lots of fighting her female. One of the biggest rated movies of all fucking time. You know, none of these shit get... Here's the thing. If you're going to give a shit for stuff that we had nothing to do with, you have to give us credit for shit we had nothing to do with also. That's a two-way street, okay? Or a one-way street in Detroit. Traffic goes both ways, baby. Period. End of story. I don't understand what's so hard to understand about this. But you'll never fucking hear that. You'll never hear that in these conversations. It's, oh, you can't handle a strong woman. Really? 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 It's like the whole, men won't play video games with women is the hero. Tomb Raider series, one of the best-selling series ever. Metroid, one of the most highly acclaimed video series ever. Guess what they both have in common? Female protagonist. So what's your excuse now? I mean, this is what it is. Jesus Christ, man, we fucking spend every fucking week in the group chat. Yeah, we talk about sports, but it's mostly the bullshit being thrown around in the name of sports that we end up talking about. It is what it is, man. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't need to fucking have we're only going to talk sports and not the bullshit surrounding it. Because maybe this is what it is from here on out, guys. And this is the brave new world, whether we're ready for it or not.
I'm going to go outside and find some clouts to yell at. Put my fist to the sky. That's how I feel.
My ball game.
I didn't know when I turned 40, I turned 65. What the fuck?
Chris, you're lucky. What's your youngest sibling? How much younger than you?
A year. She turns 40 this year.
You're very lucky. Yeah, you're very lucky. I got a 15-year younger than me sibling. I've been irrelevant since I was 28, 30. Like, nothing. Not his friends, I've worked with the younger crowd. 30 years old, I was looked at like I was a fucking fossil from the prehistoric age. It's just the way it is, man. And I mean, it's always been that. 30's always been the cutoff, but it's like, really? The generation that come up with okay boomer basically took the boomers don't trust anyone over 30 and ran with it and changed it up a little bit.
I'm in a new club. Adam Carolla coined the phrase. He used to hear don't trust anyone over 30. I now say fuck anyone under 40.
Yeah.
That's the club I'm in.
About your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This whole everything sacred and wonderful comes from youth is a Western way of looking at shit. Because you go to societies which have had dynasties that lasted hundreds, and in one case, 1,000 years, and they prized the old and wise.
The wisdom of the elders.
Yes. Yes. And when a younger person said something that actually made sense, that's why they invented the term out of the mouths of babes, because it was so shocking to hear someone so ignorant of the world actually speak something true.
Like, we used to base things on, like, the more life you lived, like, I don't know, you've experienced some things, so maybe you've got a little bit more to say on the subject. Now you're just discounted. Carlin said it years ago, man. It's like it's a child fetish.
Yes, we fetishize them. Absolutely, we do. And, and this is sports related because this is on just a personal level, by the way. And by the way, this was fucking 12, 13 years ago. If y'all don't know, our co-host Earl used to coach high school football. And when he told me about, he's going to go coach high school football and would talk to me about the games and stuff, I was like, you know what? I'd seen a story on the local sports station that said that there was local little leagues that were having to shut down teams because they couldn't find anyone to coach because it was all volunteer. And so I started looking into coaching, like, what would I have to do? Because I realized, as I was married at the time, but my kid didn't live with me and she wasn't on the team. So here I am, this married guy with no invested interest in the team, wanting to coach the team. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this, right, Chris? Like, you know how people think. They'll be like, what's this weirdo doing? It's like, why is there a male kindergarten teacher? What male wants to be around kids that young? But I had a male kindergarten teacher, and I remember his name, Mr. Salamone, and he was one of the best teachers I ever had, period.
And the most important question, why?
Because Mr. Salamone
proved.
But well, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about my kindergarten teacher. I'm like, motherfucker, he didn't touch me. Fuck you. Don't put that shit. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. But no, and like I started, and this was, granted, Oakland County, late 2000s. They were probably ahead of the curve with the wokeness bullshit in sports, especially. But even then, you could see it happening at the younger level, and that's where they get in. Start with the kids when they're young, indoctrinate them. Send them on up. They'll do most of the fucking heavy lifting for you on their way through fucking grade school and every fucking thing else in life. But it was, well, there's not enough, last thing we need is a bunch of white males volunteering to teach a bunch of a homogenized, whitewashed version of a baseball team how to play baseball here in Wixom or Novi. And, dude, it turned me completely out to the point where I was like, you know what? Fuck you assholes. If that's the type of shit I'm going to fucking have to deal with, and you all are chicken shits and won't say it to my face because you know I'd fucking crush your argument, if not your fucking larynx, you'll say it behind my back. Like a bunch of bitches. Fuck that. Now, dude, that was 2008. It is 2020 fucking one. You think it's gotten any better? Look at our current climate and tell me it has.
No.
I can't.
And when I was coaching, it was a lot harsher even than what Rich is saying. I had parents coming to me, why didn't my son get a play in? Why didn't he get a play? Well, because he didn't practice hard. Well, because we were trying to win.
Thank you. That's the word.
I didn't have
earlier in this podcast.
So your son didn't play.
I didn't have a filter. I still don't really have a filter for the woke. And he didn't practice hard. He couldn't get the job done. I was trying to win. Those are things you can't tell parents that are quote unquote woke. Where everybody's supposed to get to play. Everybody's supposed to get a trophy.
Well, then you get.
I'm sorry, sorry. This kid was like 4'10", and he weighed maybe $160, maybe. And they wanted me to put him on the line against kids.
4'10", 160. That's your fullback, bro. Dude, that motherfucker's center of gravity is like what, 2 inches above the ground? He can roll into the end zone from the fucking 50-yard line. Like, like, what the fuck? That's a missed opportunity.
That's fucked up because I got a picture of him in my head. Stop it. Eric Cartman looking bastard. Anyways, no, I have a certain way that I look for and I coach, and I don't care if you can make the play. I don't care if you're as strong as our starters or anything. If you give me 100%, you're playing in my game. If you come to just play football and you give me 100% of what you have, you're in my game. Period. End of fucking file. I don't care if we lose. I want people that, want to play, that are there to try and not just try, but give it everything they got. If it's good enough, great. If it's not, I'll coach you up and teach you how to do it. This kid didn't even give me 50% of what he wanted to have. He just expected.
He was out there bullshitting. He was out there half-stepping, expecting to get a fucking pass because he knew that, well, in today's day and age, everybody has to play at least a couple fucking, like a series, right? Or, at least 3 downs or whatever.
I'm sure that's what he was dependent on, but his ass sat the bench the entire time. And I even remember him behind me. Coach, let me in, Coach. I haven't played yet, Coach. I ignored him the entire fucking game.
See, and
I told him after, but here's the thing. I sat with him before we got back on the bus, and I sat with him and him alone and me, and I said, I heard you, and I know you didn't play it down. That's because all week when I tried to get you to practice, you were too busy chatting. You were too busy wanting a drink of water. You were too busy just sitting and trying to figure other things out. We're here for a game. These 10 guys on the field need you 100% every play. And if I can't get you to do that there, you ain't going to do it here. You will play as you practice, and I won't allow those 10 guys to get let down by you. You want to play on my team, you give me 100%, and I will make sure you get every play you deserve.
Well, guess what? 2021.
And he went back home. Well, he went back. This was 2003, dude. And he went back home and told his mom what I said, and I was in serious fucking trouble.
Oh, I was going to say 2021, you'd be fired.
Oh, I was very, very close.
See, and nothing you said is offensive, is exclusive, because you didn't say, I need you to give me 100% until you're on the verge of death, plus I need you to be as naturally as gifted of an athlete in whatever sport you're given 100% to the bordering on the verge of death. 2, you need to be the best person ever born to play that sport. That would be ridiculous. That would be asking for much. All you're asking is don't quit. And see, I played sports where I was shit at, but I loved the sport. And I had a camaraderie with the guys around me. And what kept me going was I don't want to look like a bitch to the people that are depending on me. I don't want to let them down.
Yeah, this kid had the exact opposite thought of you.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Because I've been at jobs I've worked after going, I'm working off the clock. I'm doing all this extra curricular bullshit for you. This is what I get? Okay. If you're going to treat me with minimal respect, you're about to get minimal effort. And if that means I get fired, gee, I could probably walk outside and trip on a better job than this. Maybe I need to look for another job. Maybe you don't deserve me. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Know your worth. But you can't.
And you learn that in sport. So, yeah.
But the problem is I'm almost convinced that if you try to take these fucking asshole fucking kids we're talking about, which is not all of them, but enough to be worrisome, though. And I think we've seen the generational fallout of that for two now. But anyways, you can't. There's no way to win gracefully because it's unacceptable to lose. But it's unacceptable to lose because, like, if you ever talk to these people or anything, why don't you watch sports? I don't I don't like team sports. Okay, why don't you like team sports? I don't work well within a team. Okay, all right, Wolverine, you're the you're the man with no name, Clint Eastwood. We got you. You're the lone gunman. Okay, you're cool. Now, besides that, why not? I was never any good. What sports do you like to watch? I like ice skating. That's barely a competition.
If the bar is never any good, I should hate all sports.
You know what I'm saying? Like, anything where it's direct head-to-head competition, no good. It's bad. It's toxic. It's whatever the fuck. But if you want to run around on a goddamn Olympic-sized fucking sheet of ice, flailing around like you're trying to do the Humpty dance on some fucking ice skates,
dude,
that's great.
I got cut from every team I ever tried out for that didn't involve paying money.
There you go.
I've been playing golf for 20 years. I still have like a high teen handicap. Like, I'm not good at sports. I was joking with my wife. It's amazing I got enough hand-eye to play guitar. But I still enjoy it. Like, I should hate, if that's the bar, I should hate all sports. I know. I enjoy watching sports. I love watching sports.
And I don't understand what is, I don't get it. I think a lot of what, and I think a lot of what's happening, like you constantly hear this, that baseball doesn't have enough black people in it, and sometimes you hear this, but they never paint it as it's quote unquote white people. They just say, Americans are losing interest in baseball. Like, okay, fair enough. You know why? It's a very fucking hard sport to excel at all around. There's a reason 5-tool players, they scout them when they're young, and they watch them through fucking Little League, through high school, try to get them to get into the fucking pros. If not, watch them through college, see how they're developing, see if they plateau. Because a 5-tool player just means he has the potential to excel in all 5 tools that you need to be a beast in baseball. That doesn't mean he's going to fulfill his promise. Then you go to, black people and Americans are losing interest, basically, whatever, however they want to fucking frame it, in baseball. But then you go to these countries where these motherfucking kids, they're playing for their fucking lives. And boy, they don't have a problem developing the skill set, do they? They don't have a problem with the attention span of the game, do they? You see what I'm saying? It's different, okay?
Hey, Rich,
we are a nation... Stop, hold on. We are a nation raised on love and feelings. These are people coming over with what Joey Diaz calls that immigrant mentality. They've been raised to survive.
Mm-hmm. And because of the things we're talking about here with these kids and sports and everything, now you see why it develops a cancel culture. Now you see why it develops you're a racist, you're a sexist, all these is and isms that people throw out. Because when they were kids and we said it's okay not to lose, it's okay not to play sports, it's okay not to go outside. Now when they don't like something, well, you're just against me because you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're an ist, you're an ism. Well,
they internalize it and personalize it.
Yes, we're canceling you because we don't like you, and we can't have you in our culture.
Here's your proof. It's not just the woke flakes on the left. It's the fucking snowflakes on the right. They do the same thing. And they're the same age. And it's like, you're exactly the same. You're just flip sides of the same coin. It's horseshoe theory. And it's true. And how much fucking recorded history do we need to finally fucking go, yeah, this more often than not is going to play out the way we think it's going to play out. Because it's the same thing. Well, you're attacking me. Internalize every fucking criticism as a personal attack. Instead of just going, oh, shit, I never thought about it that way. You know what? Let me get back to you on that. I don't know enough about the subject. How about this? I'm too ignorant to speak on it. Let me go educate myself and figure it out. No, you want to tell other people to educate themselves. That's the problem. Everybody wants to be the fucking chief. No one wants to be the fucking Indian.
With the evolution of sports, it's just very easy to see why this country is the way it is today. It really is. But you really got to know sports. You really do. Because before, Go ahead.
Why do you think these super teams have started popping up in almost every sport? That's because you're getting entire teams made of players who've always had their ass kissed. They're not used to losing. If you are a standout fucking basketball, baseball, football, hockey player in your area, you're playing at the tip top at your local level, and you go to the next level, be it high school, juniors, whatever. All right. Then you go to the next level, then the next level, then you get drafted. And if you're really good, you get drafted by a shit team. Now you got to learn how to lose. Well, I don't know how to lose. I've never lost before in my life, and I don't like this. So fuck it. Who can I get with? Where could we go and build us a fucking super team? And boom, and start. You've seen it happening. You and Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Exactly. You and Chris were the ones who were like, "It's what your team did," and I was like, "Damn right they did. Shit, works for
damn
you,
right,
motherfucker. I'm celebrating a fucking Lombardi trophy. I don't give a shit. I'm happy." You know what I'm saying? So
ever since, if you look at sports and you really know sports, you know, back in the day when players had jobs, they were just naturally gifted people that would get huge amounts of money for the time. Were just they weren't having to be trained or talked to or help.
Bro, there was a lot of fucking offensive and defensive linemen who had off-season jobs in the NFL in the 70s and 80s. Not that long ago.
And then, people started seeing that these gifted athletes were getting paid and getting paid a decent amount of money. And then mom and dad said, our generation, hey, I want my kid to be the next Terry Bradshaw. I want my kid to be the next whoever your favorite athlete was at the time, and started training us and helping us learn the game and making us better and teaching us, okay, you lost. You're not a loser. Get the fuck up. We're going to practice because you're going to win here. And we did. And we started practicing and we went and we didn't want to lose and we wanted to be better. And then you get era of time, especially in sports, from the 80s to the end of the 90s, where there were just so much in so many different sports of these all-star people of just spectacular athletes. And then you get past 2000, and we were like, yeah, see, we can do this. Let's do this. And then, my kid doesn't want to lose, though.
Yeah, but dude, you got to be careful. I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with for the most part. But dude, you have to be careful because I tend to get bogged down in this shit. And if you want to be righteous and you want to be real about it, you can't get bogged down on either side just because one is a little bit more appealing to you than the other. It can be toxic to have parents that push a kid. Guys like Todd Marinovich and shit. Guys who fucking, their dad from the minute the kid was born. The kid he never had a Happy Meal until he went to fucking college. He never tasted pop. You know what I'm saying? He ate fucking boiled chicken and shit. And
right. There are definitely exceptions, but that's not the rule, though, Rich. That's not the rule. Those are the exceptions.
Because it's harder to build something up than to tear it down, and it's easier to just let children have their way, aka let them tear themselves down, because it takes no work on your part. You just have to not give a fuck that they're making noise.
Right, but that's not the rule, though. The rule was our parents said, train, fight, I will support you. Here's a guitar, here's a ball, here's a mitt, here's whatever you need, a pair of ice skates, whatever. Let's go. Here's a hockey stick. We'll go from town to town. And they supported and they helped and we learned. And then it moved on to now, well, not to now, but then it moved, sports have moved on again, and kids were, I don't want to lose. Well, all right, here's a trophy. Whereas when you lost before, you got an ice cream cone, you got up the next day and you went to fucking practice and learned how not to lose again. That's not what they do now. Now it's like, okay, here's a trophy. All right, you don't have to try too hard here. You can play a little bit. And if you watch how sports have evolved in that aspect, and it's much more in depth, I'm just doing a short version, that is how you end up with the culture that can cancel things, that can say, you're not who I am, you're out of my culture. You're a racist, you're this, you're that, you're whatever. I need you to be so that you are no longer involved in this culture. Because I'm going to win. Period. I don't care if it costs you your wife and your home and your job. I don't care. I'm happy. And that's how it evolved. I swear to God, if you look at sports, that's where I think most of this came from. Because of the way it started with hardworking, God-gifted, talented human beings I'm going to train my kids and we're going to work on this, that produced an era of just immensely talented people, hard-working motherfuckers, to here, I'll just give it to you. Okay, you don't like it? We'll throw it out and we'll go get something new.
Well, speaking of getting something new, Rich needs a new internet.
Rich needs something.
And we lost him. So
yeah, we did.
It's probably a good spot to end the show. And a long show today. So a lot of it just every fucking show, man. We start about sports, then it turned into us railing on cancel culture, and then old men yelling at what Rich said. I just think this is how it is now. We're gonna have to get used to it. But anyway,
like we ended, it starts with the kids, and now we have to talk about the culture as well as the sport. Hopefully one day they'll get it together and change it back. I doubt it, but here's to hoping.
Yeah. And here's to, we are on social media at Sporgy Podcast on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Email us, sporgy@christophermedianetp8266, which is where you go to hit the Amazon banner if you want to help us out, or click the PayPal button if you want to just straight up give us cash. And listen to us everywhere. The list is so long of where we're at. It's just, if it catches an RSS feed, we're there. You don't have to pay for it either. It's always going to be free. We're never going to limit who can and can't listen. Give us a rating or a review wherever you listen to us at, because that helps people find us. And yeah, also too, just old-fashioned word of mouth, right? If you like it, tell somebody and tell them where to find it. And thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, peace out, y'all.
Rich says bye too.
Thank you for visiting christophermedia.net.
Have you been to Express lately? People can't get enough of their clothes. They're like instant confidence boosters. The jeans come in a temp-control fabric that keeps you comfortable no matter the weather. And the t-shirts, hands down, they'll feel like they're made of the softest fabric you've ever worn. And get this, the suits have stretch and look sharp. Like, what? How do they do that? Everyone's raving about the newest looks from Express. Just check out the 5-star reviews. See for yourself and shop the latest at express.com and in stores.